do-over time. I don't have the patience to deal with this today. Let's go. don't have all day. To deal with this today. Let's go. overtime. day. Let's go. I don't have the patience to deal with this today. Let's go. I really don't have all day. Let's go.
All right. Let me see.
I don't have the patience to deal with this today. Let's go.
Let's see what the volume is. I'm checking the volume. I'm doing a volume check. Doing a volume check. All right. All right. Let's put in this. Let's put in this Rob TV. Volume adjustments. Turn on desktop.
I would like to ask you guys a question, everybody watching this live. And if you're watching this pre-recorded, then, you know, at least think about this. Chat, do you think that anybody can become a pro Street Fighter player? What are your thoughts? Yes or no? Do you think anybody can become a pro Street Fighter player? Or a fighting game player, any fighting game. So far, all no's. What y'all think, chat? A pro, yeah, like a pro, like, you know, become like a top tier player. I think so, yeah, yes. Pro, yes, but a good pro, no. That's an interesting distinction. That is an interesting distinction. I'm saying a lot of yeses and a lot of no's. Depends on how they start and what amount of natural talent they have. I'm not talking about like Evo level or top six. You mean like win Evo? I mean, just like one of the best, like one of the best players in the world. Like
All right.
Moke level, like Moke, or that's a name I brought up. Dual Kevin, you know what I mean? Like pro, like you nice. Even if you ain't like winning the biggest events and shit, but like you up there, like you up there like that. Okay, so the reason this came up today is because, let me make sure I'm not giving away anything, but I told this person I'm going to talk on stream, but I told them I'm not going to say their name. If they was here, they probably wouldn't care. Let me tell them I'm streaming, actually. Someone told me, would you mind if we could talk whenever you get a chance? It's about Street Fighter, struggling with my competitor mindset, could use some advice. These days, it doesn't feel like I have the support like I used to, and the feeling of FOMO when it comes to communities troubles me mentally. Despite my skill as a player, it's almost laughable how much I plateaued. And everyone is way more advanced than I am since they help each other out a lot more. I know that my brain is just lying to me saying my best isn't enough because in reality it is. I wish I knew what switch was necessary to flip on that tells me I'm stronger than I think I am and keep it on. My prime definitely isn't over. I know I still have talent and skill, but I'd be lying if I didn't admit that the road to greatness feels far away despite my achievements in the past. Okay, so I thought about a lot about this type of stuff over the years. Of course, since I used to be a competitive player and all that, and just because even to this day, a lot of my best friends are, you know, in this side of things. I've dedicated my life to this shit for years. So, first and foremost, right? I gotta make sure I preface this by saying this. I'm not here to give no sugarcoating. I'm not here to do no babying or nothing like that. A motherfucker need to talk to me about their mental health and shit like that. Cool. Like, holler at me. That's cool. We cool and, you know, whatever. But if you ask me about this shit right here, I gotta be real with you. Because if I'm giving you the wrong information, then how the fuck you going, you know what I mean? In the end of the day, it's gonna work out the worst for you. First, where this part says the feeling of FOMO when it comes to community troubles me mentally. Despite my skill as a player, it's almost laughable how much I plateau, and everyone is way more advanced than I am since they help each other out a lot more. Okay. Bullshit. Number one. Bullshit. You do not become an elite player through having, like, people exaggerate how important it is for people to share information to make you extra godlike or whatever. That's not true. That's not really how it goes, in my opinion. That's why you have people that are not even from godlike scenes and they become extremely strong. Am I lying? No. There's people from scenes that we don't even know about at first and they become super godlike. I remember like, yes, DR is good, but DR wasn't motherfucking Japan. They wasn't Japan. And Mena became godlike, correct? I remember, you know, Infiltration, one of the best fighting game players we've seen. He was over there in Korea. Everybody played Tekken, not Street Fighter. It was him and Laugh. Yeah, one motherfucker. And Laugh, from what I understand, was like good, but he was not like, he never was like, you know what I'm saying? Like Infiltration type shit. But that's who he had to train with and stuff. I remember there's like some documentary, and I don't know if y'all remember what I'm talking about, where Info was showing like he literally spent most of his time in training mode to get better because he don't have people to practice with. Nobody in Korea was playing the game. Who else I want to bring up, chat? I had another one already. Angry Bird and Big Bird. They're from the fucking Middle East. There wasn't godlike. It wasn't. That's not Japan. It wasn't like just a billion godlike players. Those two. Now, yes, there's some good people there, GTR, stuff like that. But when it came to coming up, they were just pretty much training together, right? So first and foremost, when people talk all about that community stuff, it's extremely overrated when it comes to somebody becoming like a super elite godlike player. That's just not true. That's just not how it go. Now, yes, it's a bonus if you goddamn live in Japan or if you live somewhere, but it's not necessary. And it's not in the mentality that would make you believe that you say you plateaued. If y'all think you plateaued, but you think you plateaued because you don't have a community sharing information with you, that is entirely incorrect. That mentality in itself is wrong. Imagine Kobe Bryant being like, yeah, ain't nobody trying to tell me nothing. Like, now I done maxed out my... Nigga, it's Street Fighter. You know what you got to do. You lost. If I put the game on right now, bro, if I lost, something went wrong. Not every time. We know you can get low forward drive rush and guess wrong every time. But 9 times out of 10, bro, if it's a 1st to 2, or if you're in battle line with somebody and they beating you a lot, whatever, it don't necessarily mean they better than you. They could mean they're better than you. It could mean you don't know the matchup. It could mean you know the matchup, but there's this one skill that you're bad at. You can't tell me that you are watching your replays and you don't see one thing that you could have perfect parried that you wasn't perfect parrying consistently. You can't tell me that you watch your matches and you hit every anti-air. Maybe you did, but there's always something that you can't tell me that you whiff punish that. You can't tell me that you check that drive first. You can't tell me that you like or that you maxed out your strategy or the skill side of things, right? So I don't think fighting game players, again, I know I'm not playing like pro level right now, right? I'm new. It's been a little over 2 weeks, however long now. 2 weeks, 2.5 weeks, I don't know. But it's been a little over 2 weeks, a short amount of fucking time, right? But I already can tell when I play people, a lot of people, that motherfuckers just don't know how to train. I'm able to immediately go a certain point because I know how to fucking train. And I'm taking accountability even if I get annoyed and I know how to train. 99% of people are just not training the right way or taking full accountability. Now for two, that's that part. For two, my brain telling me my best isn't enough. Now this is not me just replying to this person. I told him I was going to make this video for them. But this goes to a lot of people. If you think that you're not good enough, you're not good enough. That ain't no motivational shit. That's not for me to help you. That's not a trick saying so that you can change it up. No. When I came into this shit as a player, I fully expected to beat everybody's ass. People really, do you know the ego required to really do this shit? The ego, even sometimes to a negative level. Do you know the depression that you have to risk? You know the times that I've cried and been depressed, and this back when I was, you know what I'm saying? Like, but it worked out. Motherfucker ended up getting stronger and shit like that. But like, I had to risk my mental health damn near. It was not healthy, but to some level, motherfuckers got to risk their mental health to some level even, because you really are telling yourself that you are having the ego to say, all of these guys across the world are training really hard and trying to be the best, but I believe I'm going to be better than all of them, no matter what they all trying to do. So now as a prerequisite to accomplish great things, you have to expect great things of yourself, right? So now if I expect great things, that means that, and I really expect it, not just say it, but I really mean that shit. Then that means by default, when I lose or when it does not go how I expect it to go, then you see a punk crash out, correct? Then you see men talking crazy and then you see, and you know, some of the players y'all don't know personally off camera, but I'm telling you, bro, like I remember Lil Blas lost his first offline. He made top 8. We down there in Dominican Republic, bro. This shit applies. I don't give a fuck. I'm passionate about this because I remember I was in this shit. We down there in Dominican Republic, Lil Blas, his first offline or second offline or some shit ever. He got like top 5 or some shit in a CPT premiere. He loses. He go up to the thing. He goddamn. I give him a little note. I use Google Translate and give him a note, like I wrote something for him or whatever. And he like start crying and shit. But I remember being there too, like crying over, like I'm telling you. But that, because even though it's his first or second event, he expect to win. So if you don't have the confidence in the first place for this, if you playing for fun, that's fine. If you just want a little competitive outlet, that's fine. If you're asking me if I think you should pursue trying to be a pro player, no, I don't. That's my real opinion. No. I think it's a waste. I think it's nearly a waste of time. I think there's some things in this world that maybe you got it, maybe you don't. Unless you go, or you got to do a very big paradigm shift. I have my superpower and some other motherfucking superpower. Then this don't just apply to gaming. It's life. Like, I got a damn near illogical level of confidence. I'm not stupid. It's not like hubris, or I'm not ignorant. I know what I'm not. I know that I'm not tall, right? I know I'm not can't go to the NBA. I know I'm 32. I can't like train now and try to go to the NFL. I'm not stupid. But stuff that I'm able to really apply myself to, like, I know if I try to be a pro player, I think I would, like, I'm dead ass serious, think I'd be godlike within a year, like, confidently. I believe that. Like, or as far as a host, like hosting and shit like that, or using this camera and like being an orator, like all of this, being able to freestyle like this, nothing this is planned. or with an audience watching. I know I got elite ability at that. I have that confidence. So now what's gonna happen, chat? When I walk out there with the mic and the producer in my ear, all right, coming to you live in 5, 4, 3. Nigga, I'm excited. I'm ready for this shit. What you see Lil Bloss doing on stage? Smiling and feeling good and shit. What you see Minna doing? What you see motherfucking Punk doing? Because they expect it of themselves. If you don't got level 1 of having an illogical, crazy amount of confidence, you can never beat a motherfucker who really got that shit. You can't. You know what I'm saying? You cannot. It's impossible. You cannot. Unless you change that entirely. Now, let's get to this other side of things, right? So, how can I put it, bro? In my opinion, there's some people, and if this is you, anybody, it is what it is, bro, who just make excuses for everything in life in general. And the shit applies to fighting games, right? How can I put this? Like, you damn near, if you gotta be, okay, y'all remember in Street Fighter 5, like, when Punk used to be going crazy and shit like that, and he'd be like, if he ever lose, he'd have some excuse and shit, right? However, this is what people might not, like, don't think about, and this is my opinion. Even if he was that mad, one, I think that's his ego. He was so driven to be the, like, he feel like he the best, so it piss him off. Not saying he right for being salty, but also, even if he make whatever excuse, or get mad or whatever the fuck, a lot of times when he come back to play the person again, he beat that motherfucker ass. What that tell you? He changed something. That tells you no matter what he said out loud, he had the humility on the inside. He was humble enough on the inside. He was accountable enough on the inside to know what went wrong and acknowledge he did something wrong in order to make a change, to make an adjustment and start winning, right? In a much smaller case, I was just playing with one of my homies last night. We playing Ryu versus Kimberly. That's like, I think she was Scrubby's character in the game, whatever, right? However, my homie, like, I know I'm a lot colder than him at Street Fighter. Like, it's my dog, my real life day-to-day homie. But this motherfucker beat me like the first 10 games in a row. But I know I'm losing to this Kimberly stuff that I don't know yet. And it's like frustrating me. I don't know what strategy should I do. Like, what the fuck? But I had to have humility and be like, okay, and I thought of a strategy. And I would like start thinking, trying this, trying that, thinking. And next thing you know, I'm winning motherfucking 15 games in a row and shit. That is a microcosm of what it's really like to try to go and become like elite at some shit. If y'all get where I'm coming from. That's a microcosm. Bro, I don't understand a nigga not having... People ask me tips even sometimes on confidence, bro. You know why I'm confident at shit? Do you know the best way to be confident, chat? By having truth on your side. Please, let this sentence sit with you. When truth is on your side, it's easy to be confident. I don't gotta try. You get what I'm saying? This is not cockiness. I'm not confident in my motherfucking astrophysics knowledge. That will be stupid. I'll be stupid. I know I'm in good shape. So now when I put on a t-shirt, if I put on this tank top, I am confident. It could be a million people watching. I know I'm in good shape. That means the truth is on my side. So I need to go do the work in the gym, push-ups, curls, pull-ups, leg day, and then when the truth is on my side, confidence is a natural byproduct. Because as a natural byproduct, you don't fish for compliments. People just start complimenting you. Somebody gonna come in the chat and say something nice. A random stranger gonna say something nice. So the same thing applies when it comes to playing a fighting game. I never had to. Why the fuck when I was beating motherfuckers' ass, I didn't have to feign confidence or force it. I know I did the work. Go do the work. Daigo's book, The Will to Keep Winning, he says you don't even gotta focus on winning. You literally, if you doing the work, winning is just what happens. How the fuck you not gonna win? How you not gonna win? It's natural. So how are you not having you know what I'm saying? There's no way. I've never experienced, bro, from my knowledge that I can picture, I never experienced a plateau. I never experienced it. Some of y'all in the chat was there when I was competing. So if I'm tripping, I'm tripping. From my eyeball, from these eyes, I never, ever experienced a skill plateau in Street Fighter ever. When I stopped playing, it was while I was at the peak because I kept getting better every year. I don't see how somebody cannot get better if you got replays to fucking look at. Dr. African right there, he was there. He said it was constant growth. I never experienced a plateau. When people talked about that, I never got it. When I came into Street Fighter, you know what my theory was? Early on when I first got into this shit, I started looking around. I won't say names, but I seen certain niggas, and I was like, oh, like I seen there was people that was like good players, like B-level players, but they was B-level players forever. Ass Shine, ass Knuckle Dude, like they will tell you, like from the early, I'm like, oh, you got me fucked up. From the dribble out there, you got me fucked up. Like I would never allow myself to stay. But now, because of that, again, what I had to do, risk my ego, risk my mental health, shit like that. You know? So, yes. So, the three things so far, the community shit is bullshit, bro. You don't need godlike. Most of the shit that you do to get godlike at something, I think is done in the dark. Chat, I don't know if y'all agree with that, but in my experience, that's the truth. Most of the shit to become godlike is done in the dark. It's different in the past. I think the community shit mattered a lot more back in the day. Before we had CFN, before we had YouTube, before we had Replay Takeover, before we had the internet as a whole. Like I wasn't around for that shit. Like, but you get what I'm saying. That mattered a lot more back then. Now, shut the fuck up. Get better. I remember meeting you at ATL, and one thing I noticed was you love theory fighting. Bro, look. I look like this. Law, okay, this is not no mystical type shit. Please hear me out. Law of attraction is very real. But people might believe it in different reasons or not believe it, but I'm not talking about no mystical shit. To me, it's science. It makes sense, right? Y'all know when y'all get a car, you get a car, and all of a sudden you keep seeing your car on the street. Like you keep seeing other people with your car, but before you never would have noticed that car, right? You niggas don't be consumed with trying to be the best. When you consume with trying to be the best, nigga, you watching anime and you watching Naruto and something that happened on there just inspires you like, ooh, I could. You watching a real fight, like you watching John Jones and them and on my grandma's grave, I swear to God, you just gonna see certain shit. How many players, I've heard players say they thought of setups in the shower. You know what I'm saying? Nigga then dreamed of some shit and woke up and had to hop on the setup and niggas not consumed. Stop disrespecting, bro. People be disrespecting motherfuckers to me. It's disrespectful. People be like, oh, want to be a content creator. Niggas don't be wanting to be a content creator. They be wanting to have what they think is an easy job and not have to work and get what they think is free money and shit like that. You don't love making no fucking content, nigga. So you ain't gonna be nice. Cause you just, motherfuckers think they want to be pro Street Fighter player. You want the fans of it or the glory or but you don't really want to, you don't want that shit. Because if you really wanted that shit, you would consume yourself totally. Like, it'll consume you. And the law of attraction will start taking place. There is no way you should ever... How the fuck do that happen? How you look at Mena RD as a man with motherfucking 2 feet, 2 hands, and a motherfucking heart, just like you, and think that, and let this nigga, like... you should... I'm not saying you should be as cold as him, but I'm saying, like, the gap should be... closing or something like that. Anybody who's dead ass serious should be at least dual Kevin level. That's my opinion. If you ain't at least dual Kevin level, you might be a good player. But to me, that means that there's other shit in your life that's more important. Like, which is nothing wrong with that. I'm not dissing you for that. But point blank period. You can't sit up here and tell me that it's like my number one life priority above everything else, above the gym, above my number one shit is trying to be the best Street Fighter player in the world. Now, to some of y'all, that might even sound stupid. Well, then shut the fuck up, nigga. Because some of these people gonna want to do that shit that you think is stupid. And they dead ass serious. So stop being disrespectful even saying you want to do that shit. If it's not your number one priority. Simple. Simple. Because my homies is dead ass doing that shit and dedicating their life to it in years they can't get back. So the next thing I'll touch on is I want to make sure I have a big caveat with this too. I want to talk about natural talent, chat. Now, natural talent exists. Fuck what people talking about. What's my proof of natural talent existing? I mean, it's everywhere, but people only notice it when it comes to a basketball player because he can jump high physically, or they see, you know what I'm saying, like natural feats, like physical feats, but they don't realize. Let me show y'all somebody right now. Right now, y'all know him. Y'all know him. Consecutive years as the world's top ranked player. Brother, the golden chest. Okay. Now, y'all got me in this bitch sweating, asking me this shit. Okay. I love y'all. But, all right. Does he play a physical game or no? No, he does not, correct? He plays chess. It's less physical than Street Fighter. If you think that Magnus Carlsen's wins in consistent dominance of other grandmasters, super grandmasters, is not natural talent, I don't know what to tell you. I'm not saying he does not work hard, but natural talent, brother, the other players have fucking 50 grandmasters working with them, or however many, I don't know the exact numbers, and they all studying every position and using chess engines and blah. But for some reason, he better than everybody all the time, consistently. It is what it is. So natural talent does exist. However, a couple things. One, I believe that everybody has natural talent in different things, right? And only some people find what their thing is. I feel like I have, and you have different natural talent. You have natural in multiple things, right? I think I have natural talent in video games as well, but I don't think it's as much as my natural talent on camera, my camera work, stage work, shit like that. I think my natural talent in video games is like a 7 or 8 or some shit like that. I think my natural talent on camera is like a fucking 20 or some shit. Not to suck my own dick, but I'm just saying. I'm just trying to be honest. I think Punk's natural talent in a video game, Justin Wong natural talent in a video game is a 20 out of 10. This is what I will say though. I think a lot of people ram their head against the wall doing some stuff that is not for them. If their goal is really to be the best at it, then sometimes they're ramming their head against the wall repeatedly at something that they just not gonna be. You know what I'm saying? Like you probably don't got the natural inclination for this, and I think that manifests itself in a lot of different ways. But if you watching this, please understand. If you are not already if you're not a pro level fire, you can make top 8 of big premier motherfucker, this don't apply to you yet. Most people never even work hard enough to, this is the best way I can put it. Most people never have worked hard enough to even see what their natural talent limit is. This is the best way I'm gonna put it for y'all. As again, y'all know I'm into fitness, right? Okay, so how do I word this? My genetics are different than your genetics. So my body, just because of God or evolution, whatever y'all want to say, right, is I already have certain say my genetics as it is. So my arms can maybe get up to a 10 out of 10 in a bodybuilding competition, but maybe my chest can only get up to a 6 out of 10. Maybe my abs can only get to a 5 out of 10, but my legs can get to a 9 out of 10. And your numbers are going to be entirely different. So you can't look at somebody else's body and like, let me work out and get that. But most people have not. You got to work out enough and eat clean enough and XYZ to even uncover what is under all that fat. You need to build up that muscle and see what's under that fat. Most people don't know what their natural limit is and think of this in a fighting game way. Most people have not worked hard enough or seriously enough to know You get what I'm saying? So natural talent isn't what's holding most motherfuckers back. So you can't. Natural talent is not an issue for 99% of people because you just never went that motherfucking hard to know what the fuck your limit is. You know what I'm saying? You might be able to be colder than men or some shit like that. I think if you've been playing and you dead ass serious up to pro level and you ain't been nice for motherfucking, like you haven't been able to bust through for 5 years or something like that, then I think you should maybe retire. That's my opinion. You know. Hopefully this is helpful for y'all. Chat, before I close this video, did y'all like this? The talk? Do y'all got any thoughts, any questions, anything like that before I close out? Because people watching live on and watching the video on YouTube might be interested as well. Like this was amazing. I'll do more stuff like this. I think I think this concept applies to anything in life. Man's a life coach, Rob TV. Yeah, I'm gonna do more of this type of stuff though. It don't gotta be like on this topic, but just talking head type shit too. I hate improvers. They always talk about working hard and grinding, but never actually putting in work, bro. All right, y'all. Hopefully y'all enjoyed the video. Make sure y'all hit that like and subscribe button. Of course, this is the new channel. This is our only fourth upload on the channel at this point. But I think we had like 3,000 something subscribers. Y'all been showing hella love. I appreciate it. Share this around. Leave a comment to help your boy out with the algorithm and just to share your thoughts. And most importantly, make sure you pull up the twitch.tv/RobTV Live so you can catch these conversations with me and the community live. Until next time, I've been your boy Big Hollywood Rob TV, and I'm gone.
USS Hornet is?
No.
No.
The USS
I really don't have all day. Let's go. Decouple all limiters. I don't do overtime.
The next game isn't going to play like anything you want it to play like.
Let's go. I really don't have all day. The patience to deal with this today.
that's what Mike. When Mike looks at Tekken, he looks at work. You think Mike playing Tekken for fun?
That's why you, Terry, and Mike truly quit.
You think we playing that for fun? Hey.
And that's why y'all were getting mad. And that's why y'all got mad. And that's why y'all got mad at me.
Somebody that ain't put it in.
Well, you can't act like I wouldn't put it in work. Come on.
You weren't putting in no work. Count what I'm put in your work. Or you might own minimal work. I'm minimal work. Just enough.
I'm on mute. All right, I'll leave it on. I'll leave the mic on.
I will not say anything.
Yeah. And that's kind of right. So that's now I see why y'all. Now I see why Terry doesn't play.
Yeah, he's working. Like he's working. There's some people that can play and have fun still whatever. Like I believe Omar is like that. Like I think genuinely has fun to play.
Yeah.
And he also puts in the work. So he can do it. That's why he's still playing. Because he can do it. I know how Mike is too, so I'm speak for them. Because I know how they feel about it. Yeah. I just switched my focus on poker and darts.
And does that take as much work as fighting games for you?
Yeah.
Huh?
It's a lot of it. If I don't throw darts, like I ain't been throwing it for a while, so I'm probably trash, right? If I'm throwing darts, secondly, I get really different. If I stop throwing darts, stop practicing, for like I fall off. It's unbelievable. It's unbelievable. How much fall off? And it's not a fall off that you can keep if you don't throw it. So I can throw darts right now, but it's my you're good. Like, yeah, it's my responsibility. Yeah, I'm alright, but you know, I need to go and practice. That would be my response. I ain't time to keep it. Like, if I'm practicing, I'm going for that. I throw really well. Same thing with poker. Play poker in 2 weeks. It's gonna take me a little time to get back to the level I was at before I left. Last I played, I felt on top. I felt at the top of my game. I was winning. I was seeing things. I was seeing all the things. I was seeing all the edges. Now that I go back and play, I haven't been playing for 2 weeks, so I'm going to have to refine that edge again. But the difference between darts and poker that I've still been studying off paper. Making sure I have everything, so it won't be as far as a fall off for poker as it is for darts.
Yeah. Well, now I
But the same mentality. When I go to throw against somebody in darts, I expect to win.
Is that how Scott is?
Oh, absolutely. Scott is one of the most competitive motherfuckers you will ever meet in your life. I don't think Mike and Scott are very, very similar in competitiveness. Mike wants to be like, you can play him in anything. Like, we played Wii bowling one time. He was like talking all kinds of shit. And if he didn't win, he got a little pit, like you can see it in his face. He's very competitive. Scott is a whole nother. He is very competitive.
Let's go.
We Me and Scott have gotten into it a couple of times. Because I'm competitive too. So we've gone back and forth. A bunch of times. Gotten into arguments and some more stuff. But we are very competitive. I mean, but Scott is one competitive dude.
I really don't have all day. Let's go.
That's what it takes. I mean, like the most, the thing that they say about Michael Jordan is how competitive he was about everything. He can be playing quarters, and he wants to beat your ass in quarters. Like he will not stop until he's beat your ass. That's the drive. That's what you have to have, and we don't have that drive. Something else has to. If it's not competitive side, there's something else has to drive. You have to have some type.
What about Adam? When it came to him.
He's pretty competitive too. I don't know if he's at the level of competitiveness. Well, he would get mad at you at SoCal. Well, he put a lot of time. I think the most time I've ever seen him put into anything was SoCal. It seemed like every time I went over his house, he was playing with a different character. He was always in practice or working on something.
Yeah. So I think it's like, well, the reason why y'all all let go of fighting games in general is because it was too much work, and in the end, the work wasn't worth it.
That's part of it. Like we have other things we're trying to do, right?
Yeah.
We've moved on. Like, yeah, fighting games were it when we were younger, but now it's something else. Like our focus is on something entirely different.
Yeah, it's the same with Adam.
Right? And then when you have to look at the fight, see if you want to play, all we see is the work.
Yeah.
If I want to get good again, I have to put in all this work. And then we're like, and then we say, how much time is that going to take? And then we look at the time. Do we got that much time in our life? Nah. So, no, it ain't like.
Yeah. Yeah.
So if we look at your case, yeah, loads of time.
Yeah, it's just time I started using it.
You don't have to worry about anybody but yourself, and you don't do anything else. Probably besides draw.
Yeah. And I'm about to put that in too. I get frustrated at my drawing sometimes.
Well, I mean, it goes for that too. If you're wanting to get really good and get better at drawing, you gotta put the time in to do it. You gotta focus, really. There should be no reason why you should be drawing better every time you draw. Especially if you're taking classes like you said you were.
I still got them too. There's a lot of information too.
So there should be no reason why you shouldn't be getting better at drawing.
Like,
Did you hear what he said about natural skill?
yeah.
He says there are people that have natural skill. It's
Yeah. But
natural ability. You have to put the work in to see where your natural skill is.
and nobody put he said like 1 out of 10 actually put in 1 out of 10 actually put in the work to understand if they have a natural talent at it or not. A lot of people don't put in the work to even know if they are naturally talented at it.
Yeah. That's what I'm saying. I was like, John, you're not putting in the work. Like you say you do.
Mm-hmm.
But every time I see or ask you what you're doing, you're either playing another video game, playing a different fighting game, or you're doing something else entirely. Like you're not. I don't think I've ever called you and you said I was practicing Street Fighter. Maybe once. You just don't put enough time in. You gotta put in the work.
Yeah.
I mean, quality work.
And that's the other thing. I have to make City of the Wolves just for fun, and just concentrate on Tekken and Street Fighter, and let them be the two.
You've been on this road before. You've said this.
That's what I did.
But here's something I've noticed about you. And here's something. It doesn't matter what it is, and it is when it happens. If something shiny and new comes along, you have to do it. You have to do it. I don't know what it is. I don't know why these things draw your attention like they do, but they do. And you put in the time you take away from the time you're supposed to be putting in something you're trying to get at to get good at that or something. And I don't. For instance, how many times do you switch characters in Street Fighter?
Well, a few times.
Yeah, so why switch it so much?
Dude.
I can see switching once, like somebody, let's think Street Fighter 6, when I started off playing with, Ken,
Mm-hmm.
and I played with Ken, blah, 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 and Ken came.
He would switch the character.
Play.
So basically, what you're trying to say, Mai and Viper and no one else. Mm-hmm.
Until a character like Princess Viper came out. Because you said Princess Viper.
Yeah.
There. Right?
Yeah.
So, which is not been made.
I kind of agree, but my
To my, then to Princess Viper, I'm sure there was another switch in there. I can't think of. Oh no, you played with Kimberly, and no, you played with Kimberly.
yeah.
Keep your stuff. I can take to really feel the inside, get really good. Just focus on character. You kept switching, and you do the thing. If I get something, switch off Street Fighter 6 second, you go straight to that fight, and you focus on that for the next 2-3 months. While kind of putting in a tiny bit of work in the Street Fighter tech. That's what you do. Also, if you want to get Street Fighter tech, you want to super focus on those 2 games and hyper focus on the character you get it. Hopefully, Crimson Viper is it. If they come out tomorrow and they come out with I don't know what the hell they come out with. Garnish your attention. Who's not the Street Fighter that was Street Fighter before that you played?
I just had to say Laura.
Laura comes out the next season. right?
Yeah, that was, but Laura was really good at.
Did be good.
Mm-hmm.
That's what I'm
Yeah.
For some reason in City of the Wolves, they come out with Angel. Want to hear about I'm playing City of the Wolves after they that. We are focused on Street Fighter and Tekken.
Yeah.
Yeah. So when you for Tekken, I don't mean Tekken. But it better be whatever girlfriend or person that you send a video for.
Yeah.
Better not be that person.
Yeah. Tekken's hard to get a main for now because there's so many characters and they're so rich. So
What is it? They're so rich.
Street Fighter. Yeah, but I'm sitting here getting the execution down. So I won't. This will be the first time I'm gonna play in a Street Fighter tournament, but I'll probably use mine because Viper's not ready yet.
Right.
Yeah. I'm glad that she has 2 linking moves. Let me see something real quick. And where is it? What the fuck is it? There it is. Let's see. There. Lock everything. Yes, +1. +1. And that's another thing I learned about Street Fighter. All the characters' moves and frame rates are almost the same. They're about the same.
Not everybody has 3 frame event.
No, all the jabs are 4.
Everybody's jabs are 4.
Yeah. Either 4 or 5. And usually if it's a 5 frame, it's the kick. Low kick. You know, like Ryu's jab is 4. The fastest frame in Street Fighter 6 is 4. But I realized that his standing medium punch is only +1 on block. And so is Viper's. Viper's is +1 on block. And if we go to Cammy, the frames are about the same. Same speed. You got some that may have 8 frames, which I didn't. But let's see. Let's see. And hers is 6. Crouching me and punch is 7. +1 on block. -2. See? 8. 8. 8. 8. Only thing is, why is her standing medium punch 8? And this is 6. 12, 10. Hers is 8 because it's a. Yeah, they're about the same. You might have one that's 2 frames slower. Like her medium punch is 2 frames slower. Let's take a good old look at Ed. Take a good old look at Ed. This is 7 plus 1 on block. -6. So Mize is the only one that's negative on block. His low. No, his medium punch is -1. Ed's standing medium punch is -1. -6. -3. Ma's the only one that's negative. I think they did that because of her fans. -3. -3. -2. Oh yeah, they gave her way too many negative frames on normals. She should, her standing medium punch should have been -1 plus 1. But yeah, Mai's my best character in this game so far, so I have to keep her. Mai and Viper, and that's it. Hopefully. I don't know. Because I got really good with Mai. It's going to take longer to get good with Viper in this game because of execution and the strategy. I tried her out and I was struggling a little bit. They made Viper a grown-ass woman. She's almost as tall as JP. I think. Yeah, they made her a grown-ass. They made sure that she's not a teenager. She's not a little girl. She's a literal grown-ass woman.
Fuck you, you don't fuck Viper. Alright. But let me get off here because I ain't ready to work.
All right, man.
I got something that just came up. So, yeah. Keep practicing, man.
All right, I'm on. Let's see. All right, later. All right, that was. Y'all heard that? That was from Mike. I mean, from my friend Javon. Some tough talk. That was some tough talk. What we're gonna do, we're gonna take a look at James Chin while we play here. See what he's talking about. Good old Chinzor. And what are you talking about, James?
The next game isn't going to play like anything you want it to play like. No matter how much you want it to play like the previous game, it's not going to play like it. And you're going to have to accept that and play in that environment if you want to keep doing this. Right? The trap that
Ooh, he's coming in hard.
The next game isn't going to play like anything you want
He's coming in
it to
hard.
play like. No matter how much you want it to play like the previous game, it's not going to play like it. And you're going to have to accept that and play in that environment if you want to keep doing this. Right? The trap that everybody falls into is that the new game isn't the old game. And as a result, they don't move on because they're so stuck in their idea of what a fighting game should play like. You tell any Street Fighter 4 player that all the Street Fighter 5 fans are like, Street Fighter 5 is the fundamental footsie Street Fighter game right now. All the Street Fighter 4 players will laugh because they hate the neutral in that game. We got stubby normals everywhere, and You get a V trigger, and then all of a sudden I can do a heavy kick V trigger into plus frames, and you die. Every player, their game is the epitome of footsies. When Street Fighter 7 comes out, we're gonna be mad that Drive Rush doesn't exist, and we're gonna be like, this is dumb, you can't do anything, right? Like, defense is so easy. This is just how it is, right? People want the game to play the way they want it to play. I feel like a lot of this is because the Western world's discourse is very flawed. We don't talk about fighting games intelligently enough. We all keep promoting this idea because I had this conversation with a bunch of people, top players and stuff. They're like, all fighting games are the same. If you're good at one fighting game, you would play another fighting game, and even though what makes you good in that game would be different, because you're good at game A, you have the ability to learn what you need to get good at in game B and be a top player there. I don't know if that's true. I don't think fighting games are similar enough between each other that that's an objective truth. I think if you're really good at one Street Fighter, doesn't mean you can jump to another completely different Street Fighter and be one of the top players. That was the case with Street Fighter 3 forever. All the best players at Third Strike were not the best players at Alpha or Street Fighter 2. And all the best players of Street Fighter 2 and the Alpha games were not the best players at Third Strike. They didn't overlap very much. I think the closest might be, I don't know, like Justin. Oh, okay, Vi. Yeah, it has to be like Justin, Vi. It has to be like those guys, right? It clearly has to be like those guys. Fundamentals carry over, absolutely. Fundamentals carry over, but what are fundamentals? I'll tell you, the fundamentals that you have in Super Turbo are certainly not the same fundamentals you have in Third Strike, are certainly not the same fundamentals that you have in MVC 2. Now, the concepts of you need to open your opponent up because it's mix-ups, right? The way that you beat your opponent is you gotta mix them up. You gotta make them guess whether they have to block left or right or high or low. I think the games are different enough. If you can hit S rank in one game, it doesn't mean you can hit S rank in another game. Because your brain's wired to handle stuff that 99.99% of players can't even process. The players who are good definitely have a strong chance to be good at other fighting games. They are going to be predisposed to being able to learn the other fighting games better because they are analytical, and that they will be able to approach it from a different point of view if they so desire to. But they might not get to that point because they might not think the game is fun. There are a lot of top players from the old days that when Street Fighter V first came out, they're like, finally, because this game is not Street Fighter 4. Street Fighter 4 is dumb. Street Fighter 5 is more about footsies and all this stuff, so say the devs. So now you'll see what real Street Fighter is like, and then they just couldn't succeed in that game. And why? It's because they kept approaching it from that standpoint that the game didn't play the way they wanted it to play, so they wouldn't learn it. So they never gave themselves the chance to become good in those games. Why? Because we don't talk about enough that all the fighting games are different. And when you approach a new game, you have to approach it with a completely different mindset. I always use that example. Daigo said it in his own stream. He's like, Nuki hates 5. He even says he doesn't really like Street Fighter 4. He's not really good at those games. Is Nuki a bad fighting game player? No. He's still one of the best fighting game players. It's just that 5 is a different game. It requires a lot more studying. Daigo literally says the game requires more studying, and Nuki is lazy and doesn't want to study. But when he plays a lot of the older fighting games, which required way less studying, you can't beat him. He's one of the best. But Nuki when he plays 5 and 6, he's at least smart enough just to be like, you know what, this is not my style, so I'm just done. I'm not even gonna try playing this. It is true for almost everything in life because humans don't like changes. For a lot of these top players, and the ones that I'm critiquing more because they complain about these games a lot, this is their job. If it's just a casual player, if you play 6 and you're like, this is not for me, you don't have to play it. I'm not gonna yell at you for not playing it. I'm gonna yell at you if you say the game sucks because I can't do the things that I want to do. I will tell you you're wrong about that. It's just the game doesn't play the way you want it to play. But, you know, for a lot of the people out there who are just like, Capcom needs to nerf this, they need to change this, they need to fix this, they need to do this. This is broken, Maya is too strong. A lot of that comes from the fact that we're not approaching fighting games in an intelligent way. We keep approaching them like the things that rewarded me in the game that I'm good at should reward me in this other game. The things that rewarded me in my favorite game should reward me in all the fighting games. People are gonna be like, I suck at tag fighters, etc. But in general, that's how I feel like a lot of the Western discourse of fighting games, the things that I like about fighting games, the things that made me successful in a certain game, which because I'm successful in it, it is the most skillful game out there. My favorite things are rewarded in that game. Every fighting game should be rewarding that. It's not as blatant that everybody literally says that, but that's where a lot of the discourse goes when we talk about patches, or we talk about this character too strong, or this game doesn't play like this. Just get rid of drive rushes, right? Like, you know, you see people say that, like, just get rid of drive rushes, the game will be way better. Will it? Right? I mean, like, and then that's why, like, I get frustrated when people post up those clips all the time. Look at this scrub. I realized this when I was playing Street Fighter V, because remember, Street Fighter V has really, really shitty rollback netcode when it first came out. I would fight these Charlies, these Nashes online, and I don't know what it was, but like every one of these Nashes had the worst internet ever. It would be so choppy, and they would just do moonsault slashes everywhere and do all this completely unsafe stuff. And you're just like, you're a scrub, your internet is bad, and so you can get away with all these dumb things and no. That Nash's player's goal is to win and to keep doing what's letting him win. Maybe he doesn't know what better netcode is like, but this strategy is obviously allowing him to continue to win because that's the environment that he's playing in. He's not knowingly being like, haha, my internet sucks, let me do scrub strategies. No, he's continuing to do the things that have been winning him matches. He's playing the game right. He's not playing the game wrong. He's playing a game correctly that has bad netcode, and he's playing online. If he goes offline, he's gonna get his ass whooped, and then he'll probably have to be like, well, what the hell? But honestly, he's playing the game right, because moonsault slashing all over the place and teleporting netcode is gonna make you win. And his goal, just like everybody else, is to raise up in rank. And if that's working, why should he learn other things for Nash? Right? And that's the thing. They don't know it's an online gimmick. Maybe they just think that's how it looks with the rollback. They don't know. Or some people just, you know, that's just how it is that they play. And they don't know that they're relying on online gimmicks. They're just doing what wins, right? So are they playing like scrubs? Or are they actually playing fighting games right? I would argue that they're playing fighting games right. When the game's your job, whining about the game kind of comes with the territory. That's not even special. You see that in literally every line of work. I'm a nurse, and bro, there's not a single day my coworkers aren't complaining about the job. It's just how it goes. Right. But you do it. And the discourse also came up recently that people are like, How come the Japanese are successful?
Okay, Mike Hollow is on. He has his Tekken Talk, which is just starting live stream. I think we're gonna sit here and take a look at this. I think we need to take a look at this.
I really don't have all day patience to deal with this today. Let's go. Let's go.
I'm creating entertainment rather than just a video game.
Oh yeah, the creator DOA died. One of the creators. Damn,
It makes sense rather than bringing ugly women
I forgot about that.
It's very simple. Naturally. No violence. Violence. Entertainment. Beauty. Sex. Gambling. Gambling means that if people really like playing a game, then they'll pay
Itagi.
whatever it costs. And that's all.
A lot of people passed away, man. That was crazy.
Alright guys, how are we doing today?
Good. Is King J here yet or no?
King J's not going to be here today. He is spending time with his daughter.
I should have charged this damn thing up.
Yeah,
I should
no,
take
no,
this
King
sign.
J-
I should take this sign then until he comes.
Wait, why did you have that up?
I'm gonna wait for King J to be on stream.
Okay. Well, he might show up later on, but I know he's got his kid right now. I think some people are still coming in. But yeah, before this gets started, before everyone gets there, C4, you there?
Let's go.
C4? We can't. I can see his audio thing moving, but he's muted. Okay, never mind. I don't know if you guys have been watching the discourse with Dragon Ball Fighters and Sparking Zero. Has anyone seen what's going on Twitter?
No. Well, are they getting mad because Dragon Ball Fighter Z is now gonna kill that game, basically?
Yeah, they're getting mad that basically everyone's celebrating Fighters, and I guess their game is not being celebrated. And I was talking to someone, and they were saying that like Fighters Z is not even a big deal. They don't understand what the hype was, and that Sparking Zero is a superior game. And it seems to be spiraling out of control. Like I don't really understand why. It seems stupid.
Good. I want them to get
Alright,
fucking
C4,
mad.
you're a Dragon Ball Fighters aficionado. I know where I stand on this. I want to know what you think about all the discourse.
It's a bunch of nobody bot accounts pretending they know what fighting games are. That's what it is. There's
Can
nobody.
you elaborate on it though?
They're people that don't understand what a fighting game is. It's like someone who rides like a bike. Actually, no, a scooter. It's someone who rides a scooter saying, "Oh, that McLaren's a shit car." That's the levels of gaming we're talking about. They have no understanding, but it's funny.
Do you know where it started?
I know it didn't start with Tyrant, but Tyrant's always been taking jabs at like arena fighters. So does Damascus, to be fair. Whenever you saw when Bleach came out.
Yeah. Oh yeah, I got into an argument with them.
Yeah, exactly. They do that every time. Like anytime there's a non Dragon Ball or 2D fighting game, they pretty much do that. They do it to all the arena fighters.
It seems like Fighter Z is like actually a real fighting game, and Sparking Zero is like fucking like playing like Kakarot or like Xenoverse. That's what it seems like to me from a casual perspective.
I think there's difficulty in Sparking Zero, but it's just not on the level of Dragon Ball, unfortunately.
Yeah. I've played both of them, and Fighters is obviously a vastly superior game. Like it's not even a question in quality, in what it's done
Depth,
for the
probably.
community. Yeah, depth. Sparking Zero is a rebooted version of the old Tenkaichi series, but it's severely dumbed down compared to Tenkaichi 3. So it already loses points on that. I think it's a good game, But one thing I've realized with people that play Sparking Zero, like when they're talking, is that they're critiquing Dragon Ball Fighters because of the getting caught in a combo and not being able to break out of it. And I've realized that like when people, like even my brother says this, when they're like super casual, they don't like having to deal with consequences. And obviously Dragon Ball Fighters makes you deal with a lot of consequences for playing shit. Whereas Sparking Zero, there's never a consequence. There's always a way out of everything. So it's a bit like it's the other end of the extreme, where in Tekken we've got an interaction problem right now where you get caught in a combo and it feels like it just goes on for too long. And in Sparking Zero, you can't catch people in combos because everything is parryable or vanishable or stuff like that. So yeah, I just wanted to get your 2 cents on that before we start.
Yeah, just seeing people talk about block spamming, attack spamming, I'm just like, yeah, these are.
I saw someone talking about Vegeta Blue was doing a big bang attack, and they were like, "No, that's not a combo, that's spam." And I was like, "Bro, just say you're like 14 and we'll keep it moving. We don't need to continue the conversation."
Literally.
All right, well, that aside, I guess we'll just get started with the first thing that I want to talk about. It's something I haven't seen.
Wait, can I ask 2 quick questions? I just want to, because then it's just as a greeting, like, hey Red and Joe, can you quickly explain to me your newest drawing behind you on the thing, Joe?
Oh yeah, this is for Hey Broken, but I guess since King Jay's in here, I should probably take this one down too.
No, leave the Freemason stuff up.
Oh, it was the Freemason stuff. Okay.
I think it would be better to talk about it when King Jay's on the stream, because it's kind of correlated to that.
Okay. And one thing, so I can, C4.
Yo.
When I was in the chat and you casted Guilty Gear, yeah?
Yes.
First of all, where do you get the Akuma prayer beats from? Or I don't know what this is. Where do you get that shit from? Where can I get one?
I had to train in the Tibetan mountains for 5 years.
Okay. Now, second thing, how the fuck did you, when I came into the chat and I just wrote, where did C4 get the Akuma beats? How did you read chat and you replied? Like, how did you do that? You were on the desk. How did you read it?
Again, the training in the mountains. My peripherals are like 20/20 vision to me. So, but if I know you and I see you in chat, I will reply to you.
Damn. That was crazy. Respect.
Multitasking. Yeah.
And
I mean, it's drive.
Well done, by the way. I've watched it. This Arbor stuff. That was like really, like, I don't play much Guilty Gear, but like really well done.
Safe. I learned a lot from watching Mike watch that top 8. There was a lot of things that him in the chat didn't get. That means my commentary wasn't that good. So I need to up the level. I don't commentate for Strive players anymore. I commentate for normies. So I need to be better at explaining what's going on.
I respect that.
To be fair, I was listening to you commentate, but like I wasn't really paying attention to the matches too like much, because not that I was watching them, but I wasn't digesting what I was looking at. I was just sort of just enjoying.
Wait, C4, do you commentate Dragon Ball games?
Yeah, I did top 8 to top 4 or top 6 at Evo France.
Oh, for Sparking Zero?
No, you said a Dragon Ball game. Sorry. For arena games, no, that's not my bag. But I have actually I did it once with Gloku on his channel. I did do it once.
Well, we all gave Sparking Zero a chance, and I still think it's a good game. It's just it cannot be spoken about in the same breath as Dragon Ball Fighters. That's an insult, in my opinion.
Yeah.
But all right, Chad, how you doing?
Guys, I'm in mourning. I'm not gonna lie. I'm in third mourning. For Tekken, I ain't gonna lie.
Bro,
But,
I thought you
we'll get
wanted to
there.
go to the island. Now we are close to Madagascar. Didn't you?
Motherfucker, listen. Nah. I'm not having it. When I talk about the island, I was talking about like fun, interesting mechanics, not children strippers. That's not what I signed up for, bro. That's not what I signed up for. That's not what I signed up for. Maybe that's what you signed up for. It's not what I signed up for. So don't put this on me, cuz. Don't you dare put this on me.
I think they said she's 18, right? She's.
Oh yeah,
I'm
she's
just saying.
18. Yeah, she's 18. The same way that, oh no, the same way that, oh, she's a vampire. She's secretly 200 years old. Like, I know what the Guilty Gear. I've seen the Guilty Gear Strive defense.
At least her
defense-
body's
defense-
18. At least her body's 18. You could tell her body's 18.
I don't know about that, shoot. I remember. Don't even get me started. I remember in my school there were some people who developed early. I don't trust it. I don't trust
Yeah,
it.
suddenly Chet wants to jump ship, guys. Yeah, I'm
Fuck
long enough
you.
on this
Listen,
ship. I'm already
listen.
so fucking
Nah.
into that. Yeah.
Nah. I was pitching. Look, okay, for those of you in chat who don't recognize where this in-joke is, my argument was, look, Tekken 8 has gone so far from the original design that maybe we should just abandon the old one and just go in this new direction, like a new, fun, crazy direction, right? But keyword was like fun though. Like, like I wanted a new direction that would be interesting. This new shit, I mean, again, we've not played her. We ain't played her. Maybe she's hype, but I ain't gonna lie to you. It's not looking good.
I just wanted to see what they did, bro. Like, think
So this is the first topic then, right? This is the first topic,
Maricel? It wasn't gonna be, but we might as well. Let's talk about Mary's now.
I think you do. One Madagassi said do you say that one Madagassi person or Malagasy person said you pronounce it like zoo, like the zoo that you go to and watch animals.
This was your vision. Sleepy T in the chat saying this was your vision. Sleepy T, don't put this on me. Don't put this on me, bro. I did not ask for stripper tag. I swear to God, stripper, I will come to your house.
Let's actually let's deep what Harada did, right? Let's give him credit where credit's due, but I'm also gonna take credit away where I should be applying it. This guy and his team, no disrespect, okay? I am not one of those people on Twitter that is saying mad things to Harada, but I'm just gonna call the spade a spade. He's online paying attention to the conversation. He knows that people are asking for over. And instead of using the model that is already in the game and giving us over, him and his entire team got on a plane, went to the southeastern side of the Indian Ocean to Africa, and started talking to the locals about building a whole new character that nobody asked for. Now, on one hand, I want to commend him because I don't know any developers that fly out to other countries or continents to do research on the locals to try and build a faithful character. On one hand, I want to commend that. On the other hand, I was like, you could have just saved the plane ticket and gave us patient over. Like, that's all we want.
This is the type of research he was doing. This is the type of research he was doing.
100%.
That's the type of research he was
We
doing.
know where he went in Madagascar. I know.
Yeah, we know exactly where he went.
We know where he went. We know.
I mean, if you go there, right, and you do like research. By the way, did all of you read the blog article they put out on the same day where they explain more about the character and stuff? Did you read that? Where it's like, I read that and I was like, when they say, okay, what about her is like Merengue Madagassi fighting style, right? And the only shit they come up with is like that her stance entry is supposed to be like sort of a fall to the knee that you do before you fight, and the other stuff is one of her glove attacks where she literally fucking, gets like blue snakes shoot out of her arm, that this should symbolize someone putting a bandage on. And I'm like, bro, what does this have to do with me?
Let's take a step back here. Let's take a step back. Let me put you in a time machine. Motherfuckers, let's go back in time, a couple months ago. These man got on screen and like, look, we're giving Madagascar the representation it's never had. And for me, we're having a fighting style that you motherfuckers ain't never heard of. Now you have to, if you know me, you know I love Kung Fu films. Not just the 70s Kung Fu film. I love like the revival in like the 90s and the 2000s with the sort of the Jet Li sort of era, and even modern Chinese cinema. I love martial arts. And so the idea that we're having this new martial art that you motherfuckers ain't never seen from part of the world you ain't never even thought of. I was actually being like, you know what, this could be exciting. So I'm ready for some new tech, some new forms, some new katas.
It was one of the first questions Michael Murray asked when the trailer dropped. The first thing, one of the very first things he said, "Oh, what's her fighting style based on?" Merengue. That was one of his first words. And then I see that. So I don't know.
He said Merengue, and then I'm going on YouTube looking at like Merengue, and there's like some videos from like 7 years ago that has like 12 views. No one's ever heard this martial art. I'm like, oh, this could be pretty interesting. There's like a fucking News France 24 video about this ancient fighters. I'm like, this could be pretty interesting. And then they show us the most magical girl, Sailor Moon, Sakura card captor shit I've ever seen, bro. I couldn't believe, bro. I was expecting her to summon Bahama. I'm like, her and Clive. This is. I was so pissed. And you know what I was most pissed at? I'll be real. I was pissed at myself. Because I was like, nigga, what did you think they were gonna give me? You like, what did you think they were gonna give? You saw the reveal trailer. You knew when she was like, hey, I'm a cutesy girl. What did you do? What, you thought she was gonna be doing Brian shit, fucking ground pound? Of course she's gonna be doing magical girl bullshit. I'm so pissed. Cause when she does that wall jump, I died, bro. I was like, what? Why though? And you know,
before you go on, I know Red's looking pretty mad right
Yeah,
now.
Red already has like a whole fucking speech ready. I already know.
Red,
I already fucking know.
How do you feel about Mary's?
I watched the video.
Oh, turn your mic up. Turn your mic up.
You're quiet, Red. We want to hear it. We want to hear it. Yeah, you're quiet.
Yeah, it sounds like you're like 30 feet away.
Even right now.
Yeah, I think it's your mic settings probably.
You might be coming out. You might be coming through the wrong mic. You might be coming through the wrong mic if you have multiple mics around you.
Yeah, go to the little cog at the bottom of the screen where the exit side is, and then fix your mic settings.
Yeah, you might be coming out of a laptop mic instead of your nice mic.
Does anyone else feel like Ancient Ogre was just like forced?
Oh, that's
like
the next one.
It didn't need to be there. Like she was already enough of a slap in the face in Tekken. And then I understand. You know, I don't even mind the fact that there's multiple Ancient Ogres because they did reference it in Tekken Tag 2.
Good idea.
That's what they say. They say, oh, she's not like directly Ancient Ogre.
Hello?
She's one of the other ogres. Yeah, that shit works.
Better mic.
Yeah, we can.
Yeah.
Oh, okay. You know what it was? I think it was the microphone on my headset. I was like, yo, how the hell?
Yeah, it sounded like it.
Yeah, I got a lot to say, but I don't want to dominate. I don't want to talk over everybody. You know what I mean? But first, I just want to say appreciate Mike for having us all, and shout outs to Hollow doing this thing with the beef sets and all that, and shout outs to everybody here, Chad, Finn T, Blackheart that just joined, Joe Budden.
Hello, everybody. Hello.
And yeah, so I just think I'm just gonna open up with this, and also shout outs and salute to the chat as well. I don't really see anything significant, and I'm just gonna jump around real quick, so forgive me. So the whole Mary Sue character, I basically summed it up as she's a solid looking character, but just not for Tekken. I think this character is an RPG character. I think that they should have sent her to... Anybody that knows RPGs would know that Namco has a division. It's like the Tales franchise. You have like the Tales of Symphonia, Tales of Arise. They should have sent her ass down to that department, because she would have been better as an RPG character, in my opinion. This has no place in Tekken, because now you're setting a precedent of, well, what's going to happen next? You understand? Like, I'm not a fan of the fantastical and the mystic aspects of characters in something that's referred to as the King of the Iron Fist. Like, I just feel like they have gone so far away from what made Tekken. Now, I understand as an OG, we've had our ogres, we've had our angel and devil, but I feel like those are more like the exceptions to the rule. Now it's like this is becoming more and more commonplace. I'm personally not a fan of it. I'm not overtly shitting on the character directly. I just don't feel that she has a place or should be in the Tekken franchise as she currently is, because that's going to open the door even further for even more crazy bullshit, which is going to basically funnel this game more and more down towards the realm of a party game status, which I actually feel it already is. Now, I will further to say, and I'll give it back to you guys, in terms of people having hope for Season 3, I don't think that there's going to be anything meaningful that's going to happen. Why? Because the Namco devs are currently earning. They're making money off of this shit. So if the game was not being financially solvent, then I would say, okay, they would probably have a course correction. But in their eyes, because they are making money, because the casuals are gravitating to this game, because people are buying and investing in the DLC, from the developer's standpoint, it's all good. We're just going to keep going and doing as just business as usual. So this is why I don't see anything significant that's going to happen for season 3. Sure, they're going to address bugs. Sure, they're going to do a few minor changes just to say that they are doing something and to pacify the masses. But in terms of anything meaningful, I think they are fine where things are because they are currently making money. And at the end of the day, that's really what it comes down to, those people. People like us, we don't collectively like the direction Tekken has gone. We may not agree on some of the finer points, but I think most of the people in the chat and the people here in this broadcast, we can agree that Tekken has strayed away greatly, and that we're not happy. And that's what I guess that's what I'll say for now.
I want to add to that. Just going back to what I was saying before, with this character's inclusion and how Ogre feels like he's been forced into it. It was even more annoying to read Harada's explanation about this Ogre, because apparently this Ogre was a benevolent one and he protected the island. And I was like, wow, that sounds like a much more interesting story. You could have given us this brand new ancient Ogre that wasn't evil, and he could have had fighting styles that were less, I don't know, less vicious than the original Ogre. And then for them to like just watch, they were watching the crowd react. Right? Everyone watched the crowd react, and everyone was sort of like my reaction was I was bewildered watching her. But then when it flashed and we saw Ancient Ogre, everybody in the crowd, including myself, went, everyone went, "Oh shit, Ancient Ogre's here!" And then
and it's not.
Flashed
It's
again,
not.
and we saw the blue Ogre, and all of us like, "Who the fuck is that?"
Ooh,
The mystical side of it, I don't mind the mystical side of Tekken, how they execute it, because Ancient Ogre was a fighting god, right? He wasn't shooting fireballs or anything. True Ogre was. True Ogre was the boss variant. Nobody's asking for True Ogre to be playable. I don't need that. If you want to make him a boss character, I don't mind. But Ancient Ogre was not doing it. He was just using martial arts. So them having mystical characters in the game is not a problem. It's them thinking that this game is Final Fantasy. Like, can you imagine what Evo 2026 is going to look like if Clive and Mary's in the final? Bro, we're going to fuck it. I'm gonna be in. I'm just gonna tell people I don't play this. I play Smash. I play Smash Bros. I'm out.
Oh my! Imagine, I don't know, Victor versus Miyabi. Like it's so
that.
fucking
I want to go back to what you were saying about like the fan reaction, because I saw that too, right? The biggest pop. Everyone was kind of like, there was like everyone was like, oh, shocked at like wall jump and like the crazy stuff, but there wasn't any hype. And then like Ogre comes on, and it's like, if you've ever seen pro wrestling, you know when you hear the glass break, Steve Austin theme, right? Everyone had the but then imagine that walks out like fucking Val Venus. Right? It was that little just oh, what the fuck is this? Like everyone had that same, because you cut back to her and she's like the blue eyes, you're like, and you're like, what the fuck am I doing?
Yeah, it was like an anime fantasy.
That fucking Blue Beast should have just they should have changed her into that Blue Beast during Heat.
Come on.
I was the wildest shit. I was laughing. And you know what? Another thing to say is that, you know what really upsets me? Forget stripper stance, forget wall jump stance, right? Forget all that shit. Her 1-1-2. Not that it goes into stance, which is also bullshit. But like, if you, I'll send you a picture, Mike. I don't know if you can show it, but I took a frame shot. It's the most ugly animation I've ever seen, because you're like, where is the momentum coming from, right? I'll send you a picture, but it's like, just animation-wise, she looks weird. Like she's not fighting. Like what is happening? It's the most ugly shit.
She's dancing.
Oh yeah, and her wall combo where she goes like this.
Yeah, it's like what? It's like what are we doing, guys? Again, you can have
the jump of joy.
You don't understand. She's a fairy. Come on.
I just can't. And like, don't get me wrong. Like I love I'm gonna mention Virtua Fighter. Take a drink. But I love Eileen from Virtua Fighter, right? Like the sort of monkey style kung fu. You can have that, right? You can have like I have Lima style, and it's fucking weird and gimmicky, but like it's still a martial. Like you can still make that a martial art. You can make any animal a martial art these days, right?
Yeah.
It's like late.
Yeah, totally. That's kind of a real martial art thing where you just like these martial artists take inspiration from a real life animal, and so the techniques tend to look a little bit weird, but they end up revolving around punches and kicks and scratches and throws, so it makes sense. But they didn't even bother. It's just magical shit. And why do we have a fucking DBZ being clash? Like, I know we had that with Devil Jin, and I know it's not unique to the premise, but why are we adding more characters who can beam clash with each other?
But the
They're
best
doing
thing
that. They're doing that because they want to appeal to a certain market. As I've said many times before, the developers, and I apologize if the mic is a little too loud, but I would just say that the developers, they already have a mandate for this game, and it was to appeal to the casuals. That is their main objective, because they wanted to tap into that money. So this is why I feel, and just my own speculation, that they wanted to create characters like this. They didn't have to go this route. When Chad just mentioned Eileen, when she enters into that low stance, that low profile stance, it kind of looked almost, I forgot what the Chinese translation of the monkey stance is, but it looks kind of reminiscent. You know what I'm saying? They could have gone more in that route. Just similar like to how they have, say, Brad Burns in Virtua Fighter, where he's kind of like a kickboxer Muay Thai style, but he has like that Steve Fox swaying type aspect. You know what I mean? They could have had this chick basically just do a variant of what Eileen does, just give her monkey style, because we haven't seen that in Tekken. They could have gone and dived further into that, okay? But instead, they gave us the RPG shit, and that's just how I see it. But you know what I mean? But it's wild.
I want to ask Blackheart, because I think I'm going to ask Blackheart, and then I want to ask C4 a question. Blackheart, am I correct in saying that you like this character?
Okay, let me explain. It's not like no, I'm not. You're doing the wrong. You're accusing me.
I ain't say nothing.
He's a Clive player.
I'm trying not to hold that against him, Joe. I'm trying not to hold that against him.
Have patience.
So reaction, I gotta be honest with you guys. The first reaction was positive because I was overwhelmed with, I was bamboozled. Okay, it's like when you get high.
Wait, Blackheart, your mic is underwater, bro.
Huh?
His mic's
sound
always
like you're underwater. Like usually the mic's in your mouth. Now it sounds like it's.
Damn.
You need to put it in a fish tank.
Hello. Can you hear me better? Hello. Okay. I was saying that I think that the problem with Miari is not even the character itself. It's that it's over the top. Like she's 10 characters in one. She does too much. That's the problem I think now after seeing the trailer multiple times. Like I think at the same time she has ogre powers. She gets on a cave. She has animal powers. She's 10 characters in one. That's what I think is the problem right now. That every character they want to make right now is really over the top. Right now, like everything is just over the top. That's the thing I don't like. But if I can say about the character itself, like at the first impression, I had fun. I'm not gonna watching the trailer. It was fun. Then realizing what I just saw, I said, okay, maybe this is too much. That's what I feel now. That's what I feel now. Like,
it took you two watches to get there?
After, digesting the trailer a little bit more, I say, okay, maybe this is too much for Tekken. And that's my final conclusion. So I was initially positive, and now not much anymore. Because again, I think they wanna do too much on the same character. Too much. This could have been at least 3 characters. One animal-oriented character, one ogre character, and one wife. Basically, it's too much on the same character. Too much.
Yeah, that's a good.
I actually have a theory, and I don't know if you guys actually would share this once I share it. I have a feeling once I learned of the ass pull that Harada and his team did by saying that there's an ogre on every continent, at least that's what I understand. I have a feeling that this character is, I'm just spitballing here, but this character could be a plot device for Tekken 9. And I do believe, at least in the high 80%, that we're going to have Akuma come back into the game because he was very successful and pretty popular in the story. I do see him having a place in Tekken 8, maybe season 4 or season 5.
I want to
So-
modify. I want to modify that prediction. I think you're onto something there. I don't necessarily know that we'll get Akuma. I don't necessarily know that.
But I mean, I wasn't really finished though.
Oh, my
but-
bad, my bad.
But I'll yield it back to you after this once you get the whole picture. So I do feel, and like I said, this is just me just throwing shit at the wall right here, but I do see that I just see them bringing the character back because Akuma is very popular and he actually served very well in the Tekken 7 story standpoint. And we did not really see the full conclusion between his battle between him and Kazuya. And it would have been nice to see him alone in the volcano and Kazuya dipped out. And then you see Akuma, he kind of senses that Heihachi is still alive and say some shit like, I'll see you soon or something like that. And then he leaves. But now we all know that Akuma is all about the fight to the death. Wouldn't it be something if all of a sudden he comes back to challenge Ogre? I mean, I think that could be a very well possibility. And given the fact that, like I said, I'm going there, so you can clip this. So since there's an Ogre in every continent, can you imagine a situation where unlikely alliances between Akuma, Heihachi, Kazuya, and Jin all band together to fight these Ogre motherfuckers?
Yeah.
I can see some wild shit like that.
But it wouldn't,
Because
even, it wouldn't make
I can
sense
see it.
otherwise because Jin beat the original Ogre on his own. So having all 3 Mishimas and Akuma to take on one Ogre, it's like
No, it's not one.
They're gonna have
Remember
like
what
4
I'm
or
saying?
5. They're gonna have 4 or 5.
They say that there's some on every continent,
Yeah.
and I would not be.
Yeah, Avenger shit, basically.
Yeah, exactly. That's what I'm
Ogre
trying to get at.
Hokages.
That's what I'm trying to get at because we already see it. For me, like I said, this is just an ass pull for me,
No, it's
but
good
I
one.
do see it possible given the
Yeah.
fact that we're seeing characters like this Miari character, the fucking RPG bitch, and I just feel like, why not? If you're gonna go full retard, just go ahead and do it. Real talk.
let me ask, I want to ask Joe Budden how he feels about the character.
I think the problem is like, cause to be honest, I've been asking for a Gooner character in the game. I think that Tekken 8 for some reason they like.
Let's go.
I'm the guy that wanted fucking Goku in this game, so all this anime shit doesn't actually bother me. It doesn't bother me that much, and I think Clive is still is worse than her with all the anime shit. But regardless, I think if Mary Zoo was like the Azucena replacement and she wasn't related to Ancient Ogre, I wouldn't have a problem. It's just the fact that she's related to Ancient Ogre, and they're like polar fucking opposites. Like they should have just had Ancient Ogre and then fucking her. She's just her own thing. She could do all the pole dancing shit on her, like as her own character. But why does she have to be related to Ancient Ogre? That was my whole problem.
Exactly.
And during Heat, she should have just turned into that fucking blue beast or whatever. And it would have made it okay, to be honest. Where she could be a dumbass when she's not in Heat, and then in Heat she actually turns into a fucking ogre version. But that's my thoughts on it.
That would be so cool. Imagine.
So you want like real? So Joey, you want like real Guna characters? You mean like?
Yeah, like I could actually
anime-
jerk off to Mary Zoo. You're telling me I'm gonna jerk off to fucking monkey ass
I see.
Oscar in this game? I'm not. I'll jerk off
So you
to
mean
Mary Zoo.
they should like turn it up, like for example, like a Guilty Gear.
Yeah, like you know the buff they did. You know the buff they did with the boob sizes. They should do that buff like 30 times.
Oh my!
30x.
Thank God that she's 18. Thank God, man. Thank God.
That's why I said they only did 2 things right with Mary Zoe. And you already know what those 2 things are.
18. Nah, 18. I don't buy it, but listen, I have what Guilty Gear players would refer to as a grown woman fetish. Like I like women to look like women. Like this bitch looks like a child, right? And look at this. This is what I just sent Mike, right? This, forget all the other magical shit. This animation pissed me off the most. This is her 1 or like her 1-1. What is this animation?
Don't you think it's good?
No, where is the power coming from? Where is she? Again, this is me being too much of a martial arts brain. But like,
Yeah,
where is she recruiting mass from?
Chat. Mr. Chad is looking at it from an actual real world standpoint because he appreciates actual martial arts. So basically, if you look at her, where is she getting her momentum?
Where is she recruiting the mass from? Where is the turning of the hips, the turning of even Devil Jin, right? Anime bullshit. But when he does his punch, it's a punch.
Can I jump in real quick?
Of course you can, bro. Of course you can.
As the anime guy who's into ridiculous stuff, you're critiquing a chick punching a panda
100%.
with a backpack.
100%.
Can we get the context of like
100%.
why are you upset that a girl hasn't got enough force on her punch when she's hitting a panda with an ankle bracelet on?
I understand. I 100% understand. I'll redouble you. We have people in this game fighting with swords. We got aliens. We got robots. I'm with you. We got people with chainsaws. I'm with you. I am with you. I get it. My claim is not that this game needs to be realistic. Tekken ain't been realistic since ever, right? My point is this. Even the characters who are crazy. When Yoshimitsu hits you, he swings his sword, right?
Yeah, but he also flies with his sword. Like
totally right. I'm with you, right? But like, think about Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. Motherfuckers are walking on water and they're flying in the air. I don't need things to be realistic in order for me to buy it. But like, I don't think it's unreasonable to be like, okay, but can the martial arts part be like legit? You get what I'm saying? I don't think that's unreasonable.
I think I understand what you're saying. I think
Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon motherfuckers can do that shit too. Again, it's what you're describing are feats that are realistic or not. I'm not saying that the feats are. How am I blocking Melissa's chainsaws? I'm not. I get you. I'm with you. But I don't think it's unreasonable to be like, hey, can everyone's punch do like a punch? I don't think that's crazy. Why is that crazy?
I think if I can just kind of take this in here, I think that what Chad they're doubling and tripling down on, but you also have the martial arts aspect. Like for instance, when I look at Lei, you have Lei. He has his martial arts styles. He has a snake, crane, tiger, and so on and so forth. Those are rooted in traditional Chinese martial arts. Whereas when you have other characters like Yoshimitsu, we understand, at least I can think at a point, he became more like a cybernetic. So he's able to twirl his wrist, which allows him to gain flight. Yoshimitsu isn't like flying like he's Superman. He's really twirling the sword. So I just feel like when it comes to just characters that are rooted in martial arts, that aspect should be done at least. They should have at least a little bit more respect on that front. If you just have a character just doing random wacky shit, like say like somebody like Miguel, for instance, Miguel just is just doing random crazy shit. But somebody who is structured or patterned after a particular martial art, they should pay homage to that and have some viable choreography. That's what I think Chad is saying.
Can I just make sense of this?
Can I go after you, Mike?
Let me just make sense. I have the best way to make sense of this. All of us have watched the WWE before, right?
Yes.
We all understand that the Undertaker's not a zombie, Kane was never really burned alive, and that it's all choreography, right? But when I'm watching the WWE and I understand that it's fake, I still want it to look like they're fighting, and that's the difference between, sometimes you'll watch a match, like recently we watched Nikki Bella versus Becky Lynch. Absolute train wreck of a match. It looked like they were trying to not hit each other. At times they actually missed over and over again. But then you watch like Braun Breaker. Now Braun Breaker's not trying to actually kill Aisho Speak.
Shit, you can look at Brock Lesnar also.
Yeah, when you watch him spear somebody, you're like, oh my god, that looked terrifying. Now sometimes when you watch the behind the scenes, they'll say to you, no, it didn't actually hurt, like we did it professionally. But when I'm watching it, I'm like, wow, that looked incredible. When I'm watching this new character, I get where Chad's coming from, where we know that there's a lot of stupid shit in Tekken, but could you at least try to sell it? It's like if Anna shoots her bazooka at you, yes, and the bazooka explodes on impact. But if she shot the bazooka at you, if she shot the bazooka at you and it did like a pop as it hit, we would get even more angry, because I'm just like, now you're insulting me now, like this shouldn't be happening. So I think am I fair in saying that, Chad? Is that
no, you're
100%. You're right. It's the selling. It doesn't have to be realistic. Just gotta sell me, man. And also, one last thing to add: She is not. Yeah, this is the last thing. I promise to be really quick.
Yeah, no, it's all
Alyssa gets like a pass because she doesn't really fight, but she's like a robot. So she shoot like you get the sense that her mass is like even if she flicks her wrist at you, it's doing like it's a metal fist, right? But even she has to like I don't want to get hit by that, right? This is the king of. This is someone who is inheriting like the fighting spirit of Ogre. Right? So even if she's gonna have magical shit, I don't think it's unreasonable. Okay, but her kick should be like. Like even Josie back in the day, she had like a downfall, the sort of the little like the shin kick, bro. That shin kick looked solid as fuck, bro. And she's like this little girl, but you don't want to get hit by that. But then Mary's just going, I'm like, what is happening? That's just me.
I want to, you know,
I think
Hold
can
on,
I go real
no,
quick?
so
No,
people
you go on,
been
you go
holding
on.
back.
Okay, so I do understand what you guys are saying. Like, to me, I could see that move and go, well, without seeing the whole command list, that could just be a jab. Jabs aren't meant to feel like powerful. That's not what jabs are, right?
Sure.
So, but on top of that, when you guys are talking, I'm thinking, okay, in something like Virtual Fire, that makes sense. That is a martial arts game. Am I right, Jabs?
Yes.
Yeah. So this is why I'm saying the context. The context is if you really adore the martial arts aspect, how much? Because to me, as an outsider, most of Tekken looks fantasy. 60% of Tekken doesn't look real. That you've got people falling through ceilings, you've got people juggled in the air, and we're talking about martial arts. I'm like, okay, I understand you're talking about the kinetic energy from playing the character and doing the martial arts move.
Sure.
And that is Virtual Fire. So when you defend,
But no, I hear you. You're actually not wrong. In fact, the more you speak, the angrier I get. Not because you're wrong, but because Loki, you're right. Because Loki, you're right. Yeah, that's why I get angry. It's like, motherfucker spin, right? Here's the thing. We've had this fight a few months ago, right? There's a tension in Tekken, right? Between martial arts fantasy and fucking anime bullshit, right?
Okay.
And I'm on team martial arts, and I understand that we're losing. I understand that we are losing this war, right? I get it. I know it's only a matter of time before we're full revenue. I get it. But like, Tekken still makes like a token effort towards like, all right, but we'll keep you old motherfuckers happy with like some season techniques. So even the anime characters will have solid like martial arts shit. And for me, if her jab is solid and solid looking, but she has magical bullshit, that's one thing. But if even your jab, because the jab is the thing you're going to see the most, right?
True.
If even her jab is like poorly put together, I'm like, we're done. Because that to me suggests that we're not even pretending that she's using a magically enhanced martial arts. Like, nah, fuck that. It's all magic, you know? I'm like, that's my point. Like, at least give me a jab, bro.
But it's
the jab be solid.
Okay.
But it's basically kind of goes. Yeah. Sorry.
It's because Finn's been waiting a while. Go on, Finn.
Oh yeah. I mean, I made a video. I had some comments. Some guy was saying like, "Why do you not hate Clive like that?" And I'm like, "Bro, Clive is a guest character. He's supposed to not be fucking Tekken. Like, I don't really give that much of a shit about it."
That's a good point.
I have a, you know, it's a bit of a. The discussion is a bit weird because obviously it's a bit, it's a matter of taste because some arguments they have, like I had a lot of comments of the other side that said like, that made these points of like, hey, it always was kinda like that. And I came to a point where I couldn't really defeat the argument because the best they had was True Ogre and Unknown. Now, you can say that True Ogre and Unknown, they only are playable in Tag 1 and Tag 2 as far as I know. Ancient Ogre is in Tekken 3, but True Ogre and Unknown, they're only playable in the Tag games. And they are kind of like a bit off canon, but if you have ever seen what Unknown does in Tag 2, that is ridiculous anime complete BS of like she is summoning hands of goo across the screen and goo spears, right? Like that is completely ridiculous. So I'm like, they kind of have a point. Why I was upset was of the communication once again, because Michael Murray comes out, the first word that comes out of his stupid mouth again is Mirengi, fighting style, real life shit. Then I see the staff, and actually the whole Ogre connection as well. This whole Ogre stuff for me is like, it's like Mike said, a bit of a, almost a slap in the face a little bit. And the staff really triggered me. Why did the staff trigger me? Because I actually like what she does with it. I think it's beautifully animated, I think it's interesting, but why does the staff have to look like a World of Warcraft Naxxramas drop from Kel to Zad? It looks like a magic ice staff? Why can't it just be a wooden pole arm? You know
It's
what I
purple
mean?
loot, son. No. Oh my god, okay. I thought this. Why doesn't she just have a staff attached to her back the whole time?
Yeah.
The way that Anna has a bazooka. So she can just
yeah,
pull
would-
the
it
staff.
wouldn't- yeah.
Why does it have to be magic, nigga? Why
That is what
can't
I
she
mean.
just have the
It's because it
staff?
has to be exactly like Clive's animations. They have to go in the code and just fucking like slightly change the color and shit, and that's why the animations look like that. Even her fucking jumping move, it's completely reused animations.
That is my main point. That is my main point. My main
I
point is
wanna
I
push
don't
back
even
on
like
your point, Finn.
what she does. I only dislike that it's not a wooden pole arm staff that looks like cool. That is her thing. I didn't need the ogre shit. That's all I'm
Just
saying.
make her a staff
I
fighter.
want to push back on what Finn was saying. I don't know who you were talking to, but I completely disagree. If you have to lean on boss characters to make your point, you have lost the argument, in my opinion. In Tekken,
But it's a
you've
playable
got-
character. They said.
they're playable
They said
characters
that.
in spin-offs, and True Ogre is only playable in Tekken 3, right? And then in the spin-off ones as well. So he's playable in Tag and Tekken 3, and Unknown is only playable in Tag. So those are boss characters. If you need to use a boss character to make your point when rosters are gigantic, you have lost the argument, in my opinion. In my opinion, Tekken has always had supernatural stuff, but it was not at the forefront of it. People are being disingenuous, right? They're saying, oh, the devils always existed. Yes, they did. But if you had a pie chart and you looked at martial arts and mysticism, the martial arts side of Tekken used to be almost all of it, and then you had the mysticism here, and it was mostly relegated to cutscenes and shitty moves that you could just duck. Now, the pie chart is starting to change. It's starting to look very, very different, and we're starting to enter a world where martial arts is not even in the cutscenes anymore. It's kind of just being relegated.
It's a paradigm shift.
And that's why C4's comment pissed me off, because I'm like, he's right though. Because if you were coming to this like with fresh eyes, you'd be like, Shai, what the fuck are you talking about? This ain't a martial arts game, it's a magical game. And I'm like, I hate you, because you're right. But I'm
No,
not.
he's wrong. He's wrong. I'll tell you why he's wrong.
Okay, let me go after you though. Let me go after. Okay.
There are people falling through flaws, and the Mishmas have always been doing nutty things. But have any of you seen The Raid or The Raid 2?
Yes, of course.
Like, those are fantastic martial arts films. Nobody fights like that in real life. There's no martial art that you'll find. There's no cage fight you'll ever
Well,
find
I
that's
do.
anything like that. Right? The closest you might get is Max Holloway pointing to the middle of the ring and they're just throwing at each other, right? But in conventional like UFC fights at the highest level, you don't get fights like that. The Raid is also a level of fantasy. People don't have that level of stamina. You certainly can't take that many beatings, right? In the first Raid film, the main bad guy grabbed his head and started mashing it into the floor, and the guy got up. So there's a level of fantasy there, but we understand you would be crossing the line if the main character in the Raid turns around and goes Hadouken. You would look and go, wait, hold on, we just crossed the line, and that is what Tekken has been doing. Tekken has always had characters that are channeling their energy and the energy would manifest itself in different things, whether it's like Feng's dragon or an electric. But all Kazuya was doing was uppercutting you. The electricity was just an aesthetic. That's it. All that Feng was doing was punching you, but although Feng hasn't crossed the line yet in his animation, you do see a dragon flying into the air. So we are one game away from
That dragon's gonna be real.
He like broke a boulder too.
It's gonna be real
Like
though.
Chris Redfield.
That's why I
Unblockable
disagree
mid.
with Steve. Tekken has always had fantasy in it, but they have crossed a line now that we are. When I don't know if we're going to be able to come back from it, because Mieri Zo is taking the mantle of Olga, and she's very young. She's obviously very attractive to new players, and I think she's going to be big in the cosplay community. I wouldn't be surprised if she is shoehorned into the next phase of the mission story, and then we're just stuck with this nonsense.
She is going to be shoehorned. She is going to be shoehorned. It's
So
exactly what I said already. I've already said this, that they're going to use her as a plot device for Tekken 9. I do 100% see that. Because the mere fact that they're going in this direction, they know that at this point, just as Mike just said, back in the day, martial arts was the lion's share of the total makeup of the King of Iron Fist. Now it's the king of RPGs with all the magic and the fantastical type of elements that they're adding into the game. So they're appealing to that market. It's all business. From the developer's standpoint, they are not seeing martial art driven characters as profitable enough to continually make new fucking characters that can draw DLC sales and also create costumes that would be enticing for people to purchase. This is business. This is the main reason. This is the main thing I like to talk about. Because with a waifu like fucking Mary Zoe, you're gonna have a bajillion fucking dudes out there that's gonna want to buy the one where she just has her bra and panties on, like on some Dead or Alive shit. This is going to happen. In fact, it's already happening with Asuka, and I think other characters have just bra and panties on and shit like that. We're going toward an era. Actually, in fact, we're there already, where the developers have essentially sold out on the true core identity of what made Tekken, and they're basically doing it to appeal to the larger casual market. That is why we are seeing what we're seeing.
When's the anime character coming in then? When's the anime character coming?
I was about to pass to you, C4. I got something to say, but I want to go after C4.
Okay, real quick. So I understand what Mike was saying. To me, the difference is in martial arts films, there's pretending. So you're pretending that you're gonna get up from getting hit by some titanium rod in your brain. Yeah, I understand. That's pretending. What I'm talking about in Tekken would be me saying CGI in your martial arts films. That's CGI. I can't pretend to see what I'm seeing in Tekken versus your martial arts film. And for someone who's got no skin in the game, for me, Tekken 1, I think the craziest character was like Jack. It was like, okay, robot, cool. Yoshimitsu was a little bit, you know, in that fuzzy area where it's like, it could be just cosplaying, same as like King or whatever. And then I can't remember 2, but 3 had Gon. Now, when you have Gon in your game, you have to curb your enthusiasm for realism, I think. And I think it snowballed from like 4 onwards. So I would say half the franchise's lifespan has been pushing towards the crazy anime shit. I think you're holding on to something that didn't truly exist. But it was the majority. The martial arts was the majority, but you've been slipping away from that from the get-go. You had Yoshimitsu and Jack in your first game. Jack is not martial arts.
Sure, but let me just. I would contrast that with Dragon Ball versus Dragon Ball Z, right? Because Dragon Ball was always weird as fuck, but like that was very much a martial arts series. And then Dragon Ball Z, we're legit all flying and doing all kinds of crazy shit, right? But no one can be. You'd be disingenuous to be like, oh, but Dragon Ball and Dragon Ball Z are the same, or the same level of like the ratio of them. Like no, like they are very different,
totally different, yeah.
Like totally different, right? And so my point is like it's the same thing. Like Red was saying, it is a paradigm shift. Like there is a point where you've shifted over, and it's hard to pinpoint it. You just know when you've done it. And I'm like, yeah, we're there now. And now everyone has certain feelings about it. Some people are like, I love this shit. I love the crazy shit. Fuck martial arts. Martial arts are whack. I want beam clashes. And then you have other motherfuckers that being like, damn. Like, when did we come?
I agree with you, but Yoshimitsu kind of breaks that for me. Because blocking a sword with your arms, you're in fantasy land for me. You're in Dragon Ball land. That doesn't happen.
See, I think you're missing
There's a little bit difference there.
There's a little bit of context missing there because Yoshimitsu's design has changed drastically over time, and for a long time, Yoshimitsu's sword-based attacks were literally relegated to like special moves, and Yoshimitsu was, for the most part, he was hitting you with the hilt and he was kicking. Like he would do sword-based attacks. There were outliers out there, but there was outliers like the Devil's Laser. So it wasn't like the Yoshimitsu we have now. It's not the Yoshimitsu that we had like in Tekken 4. That was Space Ninja doing martial arts.
But even that, I would say, isn't necessary. But even that, I would say, isn't really the distinction, right? I've told the joke before, but I remember back when I was in Taiwan, I was dating this girl. She was like, I hate fantasy, right? But we were watching like kung fu shit, right? Like Crouching Tiger shit. And I'm like, these motherfuckers are doing magic. Like they're walking on water. And she's like, that's not magic. That's qigong. I'm like, what the fuck you talk about? It's just magic, right? But the point is like, there are things that still fall within the realms of like supernatural, martial arts. And like for me, Yoshimitsu is like weird samurai who can like fucking does yoga stand and teleports. For me, again, you think it's it's an arbitrary point, and it is somewhat arbitrary. But like when I see fucking what's his name, when I see Raven doing ninja shit, I'm like, no, ninja shit is kind of budgeted in my martial arts fantasy brain. I'm like, yeah, ninja teleport, that's what they do. like I buy that, right? But it's different when like someone shoots a rocket launcher. Yeah. And someone tanks it. So my point is this: there's lines, and it's always going to be ambiguous. And for you, it's like whatever. I think you cross that line in Tekken 4. You're saying. I think most of us in the chat would disagree. I think most of us it probably happened close to 6. I'd say, but we can't say you're wrong. It's a fuzzy point. But the point is, we've reached a point now where like no one can deny it. Like no one can deny
Right,
it.
yeah.
Right?
Real quick to address chat, real quick. They're saying that the sword attacks were unblockable. In that case, Jack's attack should have been unblockable because I don't know if anyone's been punched by a robot before with jetpacks.
Well, let's throw in the fact that it was Jack 1. Maybe the design was shoddy, so the martial arts get away with it. We'll just go with that.
I think the overall
Fair play, fair play.
I think the overall point of this is kind of being lost and misinterpreted. I think when I hear the point being made by Chad, I think when it comes to like the martial art aspect, we understand that you have characters that are more rooted in martial arts, like a Leroy, Lei, maybe even Ling Xiaoyu to a degree, minus some of her exaggerated flips and tumbles and such. But then when you have characters like Jack, obviously he's not really a martial artist, he's a robot. So in that front, you have characters that break the traditional martial arts mold. Now, I forgot who mentioned it when I think the brother mentioned Virtua Fighter. Yes, Virtua Fighter is more in line with a traditional martial arts style of game. It's more rooted in martial arts.
Yeah.
Tekken is more fantastical, but it wasn't like that in the very beginning, right? It was more rooted in martial arts with a like kind of like a niche, a very small percentage of things that were like really out there. Now it's like the game is, for all intents and purposes, very much out there with it's almost like the martial art aspect of Tekken is drying up, and that's just what I see. And I think that there are people that appreciate the martial arts side, and they're seeing this and they're very much upset, and justifiably so. I feel like if you want to go that route, I believe there is a fine balance that you can maintain. But it just looks to me that they're having such a significant shift that it's very much like a jolt to people. It's like, okay, we were this way before. I understand that there is a slight change, or even if you would call it an evolution, but you don't have to go that much in that direction where you're potentially alienating the people that came to love Tekken for this particular aspect. I do feel that there should be a balance there, and I don't think Tekken 8 is maintaining that at all. They're like, fuck it.
And I want to add something because people in the chat are starting to piss me off, right? Not all of you, not even the majority of you, but there's comments in the chat that piss me off. No one's talking about realistic. Let's throw that word out. I'm not saying that Tekken should be realistic, right? That's dumb. Like Tekken's never been realistic. My point is that there are levels of fantasy, right? You have realism, and then let's say you have one order away, and then you have two orders away, and then you have another order away, and then you have like that other order where people are throwing galaxies at each other, right? There's levels, right? And my point is martial arts fantasy. A ninja dodging something by disappearing into a puff of smoke, that is like martial arts fantasy. It's clearly not realistic, but I buy it. Someone doing most pro wrestling moves aren't real. They would require the person getting hit to like help the person doing the move. They're not realistic, but they fit within the martial arts fantasy. My point is that there's like levels, and my point is that we were like here, right? We were like in 90s Jet Li film martial arts like level, and then we've taken incremental steps further and further away. That's my point. So your ability, like, to point to an unrealistic thing and be like, well, that's not realistic. That's not realistic. Like, that's not the point. Like, Ling Xiaoyu is like a great example. It makes no sense for a girl that short and that light to be able to have any business fighting fuck around. But in a kung fu movie, that happens all the fucking time, right? Like that. So within the rounds of kung fu logic, of course, she wins through superior technique, right? But like that's my point. So I'm tired of people being like, well, this thing is unrealistic. Why'd you let that go? This thing is unrealistic. Why'd you let that go? That's not the point. We're talking about ratio, and we're talking about how much of it was like allowed. This is what I'm saying.
Just to close this off, I can close this off real quick. To go on what Chad's talking about, I think I've made myself clear. What Chad is talking about is like degrees of realism, and I understand that. And he's talking about Tekken's got, it's staying within the realms of fighting, but getting more fantastical. When I see Roger, that's taking a sharp right in another direction. That's not on the degree of martial arts. I mean, that's on the degree of fantasy. Like that is like elves and shit. I'm talking about this. Now you're Lord of the Rings. Like you're fighting a kangaroo in boxing gloves. That's got nothing to do with the martial arts level of, oh, I'm fighting with my hands versus I'm fighting against a robot versus I'm fighting with plasma beams. I'm talking about.
But who likes?
I Wait,
like
wait. I know.
When I saw Roger, I was like, that's cool, no?
Wait, I know one Roger super fan. He has a whole channel about Roger. It's his. I'm not fucking capping. It's his favorite character. He came into my chat. He loves Roger above everything. But I want to give one final tag, and I want to show something because I think that's really important. So first of all, just. Man, I want to be honest about shit, right? Because the Roger argument is a good one. I think Roger still he fought very grounded, right? He was a goddamn fucking kangaroo, but he fought extremely grounded. Now, one thing, it is not even 5 years ago, or like almost 5 years ago. New characters came out, 3 new characters. Leroy, Fakumram, and Lydia. Now, for all of those 3 characters, there are development diaries. If you look at those, I doubt there will be one for Marizo. If you look at those development diaries, every single one of those characters is mo-capped by an actual master of that martial arts. Like, for example, with Leroy, it was an actual Wing Chun master, and with Fakumram, it were 2 people, and one guy was actually the stadium champ of some insane Thai stadium Muay Thai tournament. So that guy, like, actually legend of the sport, right? And I watched that, and only then did I realize that I actually appreciate that. Like, only then did I realize, well, I actually appreciate that you went to such lengths to accurately portray something and to make it a bit more grounded. Like, Leroy, if you compare his trailer, do you remember Leroy's teaser where he was only training at the wooden puppet? Like, he was just training at the fucking wooden dummy. Bro, and this is only 5 years ago. It's not, yeah, we had a true, what is it called, Unknown, 13 years ago in a fucking tag game. But in Tekken 7, not even 5 years ago, our trailer was Leroy practicing against a wooden dummy. But what I want to say is, because I think this is a bit, except for C4, we are all in a circle jerk, right? We are all on a fucking circle jerk on this bitch. But I believe in democracy, and if this character, if enough people like it, Mike, I'm gonna send you this PNG on Discord. I would be highly appreciate it if you put that on screen. If enough people like this character and this design, I'm for democracy. We will, if this character sells, if she's popular, we will get more characters like this, and even more characters will have influences from her. And when I see this, because this is to break the circle jerk a little bit. This should show up any minute on the screen. This is a poll. These are two polls. These are actually pretty hard Tekken players who voted here. This one is a Moonsault Slayer poll, which audience is a little bit more casual by his own poll standards, but the Fury is hardcore Tekken as it gets, right? Only optimal combo videos, blah blah blah. These are actually core Tekken players, not some dogshit Twitter poll. And these are 20,000 votes in total, which I think is somewhat representative. And you can see that a fucking majority, which is not represented today in this table or in this Tekken talk, but actually a fucking majority, you already saw I voted no, actually likes this character in terms of gameplay and impression in general. So I want to be honest also to the people in chat that might not feel represented today, that like the character. I hear you, right? And it is a democracy. If enough people like that, the magical stuff, the everything about it doesn't matter. If you like it, you like it. It's a democracy. It's okay. It's okay.
I think Finn, to piggyback, or give me a second, Mike.
Yeah, do that.
I think, like, no offense, Chad, but I think you're a dumbass. Because fucking, when Tekken 8 came out, they turned fucking Jin from karate to fucking dumb, like, anime fucking shit. They turned Devil Jin into anime shit. If you're losing your fucking hairline over, like, the second season of this game and actually thinking they're not gonna do fucking anime shit, you're a dumbass. Like, no, I literally think the biggest problem with this fucking Mary Zoo bitch is literally not the anime shit. The biggest problem is the fact that she's related to Ancient Ogre, one of like the most fucking like menacing fucking video game villains of all time, and she's doing this on the fucking screen when she goes into heat. And she's doing that on the fucking screen. And there's nothing about her that's like villainous. Like somehow she's supposed to stem from Ancient Ogre, but she's not fucking villainous at all. She's supposed to be a fucking villain. Why the fuck is she doing this? That's my biggest problem with the fucking trailer, or with the character. It's not this anime shit. It's the fact she's supposed to be Ancient fucking Ogre and she's going like this on the fucking screen. That's my biggest problem.
No, but here's the thing, right? I'm with you, yeah? You're right. I am a dumbass for even thinking that they would move in the right direction. But that's what I wanted, though. I ain't gonna lie. Because the thing is, they have publicly on the record been like, you know what? Maybe we've underestimated old school fan pushback. Maybe the direction we were going in is a little bit wrong. They have signaled that actually, maybe we got to move in other direction. But you're right. They've kind of said, almost declaratively, that this is the direction we're going in. And I have been naive in thinking we're going to go the other way. So for me, you're right. The dumbest thing is me being surprised by this. But because we got Fuck Around and because we got Armor King, who admittedly were designs made before, we had two characters in a row that kind of hinted at, like, actually, we kind of, you know, the kind of game that I want. Maybe that's where we're going for season 3. But you're right, Marizone made me go, psych, you dumb motherfucker. Of course we're doing beam clashes. Of course we're going back to the moon. So you're right. You're right.
Can I just want to say something. I want to respond back to Finn and these votes, and I also want to talk about martial arts fantasy because I saw C4's comments and some other people's, and I think something is being lost here. So firstly, these votes were done soon after Mary Zo had debuted, and normally when things come out, people are very high on them and then reality sets in. So whilst it is skewed towards them being more excited for her, I would say let's wait and see. Let's give it a month into her.
Yeah, let's wait after you're done jerking off to her. Let's wait after that.
Yeah, that won't be me. But to anyone else that is doing that, let's wait and see how they feel post Nut Clarity, and we'll see if people are still as high on her. This was brand new. Again, I do feel like Ogre's music was put in there, and Ogre was put in there and shoehorned in there to win people over. Because I think without Ogre, this character is less remarkable. She probably would have annoyed us less, but I think the trailer would have been less remarkable without Ogre. So that's the first thing. So I don't take these votes as much of an indicator because it's too soon. There's been movies that I've watched and I've come out of the cinema and gone, oh, that was great. Like I watched Spider-Man, and we had all the Spider-Mans on screen, and I was like, oh my god. And then I watched it again, I was like, man, they used a lot of green screen, man. This shit's annoying. You know, like you change your opinions over time. So I'm gonna sit on that. I'm not gonna completely dismiss it, but I'm gonna sit. I'm gonna wait on that one.
I have a question. Oh, sorry, go on. I did have a question for
C4 with the martial arts fantasy thing. I don't like Roger and Alex. Okay, I don't like them. I don't like the animals being in the game. But Bears and Roger, not less so Alex, but he's a velociraptor, so I guess I can understand the logic there. But bears and kangaroos have always been a part of the martial arts fantasy. They've always been depicted in some way in the martial arts fantasy, and even with fighting styles, they always lean on animals, right? If you guys have seen any of the old Shaw Brothers films, I'm sure Chad has, you would have seen they're always using different animal fighting styles, so they fall into that. But if you then had a giraffe that was trying to box people, I think Tekken fans would be like, nah, Roger we can tolerate because Roger's always been a part of that fantasy, or a kangaroo. And in real life, we've seen Australian men box kangaroos before. But a giraffe, you're now crossing it. If it's like a crocodile, you've crossed the line. If it's a Komodo dragon, you've crossed the line. So I agree with you. It's ridiculous and goofy, but they are just boxing at the end of the day. The most ridiculous thing that Roger and Alex do is use their tail. Okay, that's the most...
You're compromised. You're compromised, bro. There's Gon's in the game. And Dinosaur, bro. You've got Mokajin. You've got a lump of wood.
He's talking about their moves, though. He's not talking about the actual character.
This is the problem. These are arguments I have with people on Twitter, and they're not... I need you to listen to what I'm saying now.
Okay.
I have this argument on Twitter, and it drives me up the wall. Yes, it looks ridiculous. What you're looking at looks ridiculous. I'm just talking about Roger and Alex for now. We'll get to Gon in a second. Okay. They look stupid. I don't like looking at Roger and Alex. But if you watch Roger and Alex fighting, they are just boxing, kickboxing maybe. And the most crazy thing that they do is sometimes they'll do a hell sweep with their tail. That is it. Now, if you put Roger and Alex in the game now, with the direction that Tekken 8 is going in, Roger is going to open up the board of Jumanji and the entire jungle is going to fly out. And then people are going to go, oh, we always had kangaroos fighting. And that's where these new Tekken players lose. Because it was never like that. I also had this argument with somebody yesterday on my Twitter page where they said, why are you complaining? You play Feng Wei. And I said, yeah. And then he sends me Feng Wei's ending from Tekken 6 where the volcano explodes and Feng Wei punches the explosion. And I said to him, are you dumb, bro? Like, are you actually, now you're getting on my nerves, I was actually getting annoyed. Is there any point in the match where Feng Wei does a murderer and throws a meteor at your head? Or a volcano, volcanic rock? The answer is not. Now, if he did it in his super animation, I would still be a bit like, I wish they wouldn't do that. But the initiation of the animation is just a punch, right? It would be different if Feng Wei initiates his super by flying into the air, throwing a giant meteor at your head. And somehow, this was lost in translation. So, yes, I agree with you. We'll get to Gon as well, actually. Gon is a ridiculously stupid character, but he was a guest character. Guest characters, I don't want to cook because they are part of Tekken, unfortunately. But he's one of those outliers that is never coming back. He was never, I don't think he was like ever used in tournaments or anything like that. He was just one of those dumb characters that you would see at your friend's house. He's not representative of Tekken 3. He's just a throwaway nonsense character. Much like, I don't know, that game you showed me where the car from the arcade game was fighting somebody. Like,
Honestly, bears are that too. That's what bears are too.
Yeah, like, but even bears fall into the martial arts fantasy. I mean, we even saw a video of Habib fighting with a baby bear.
Literally wrestling a bear.
Yeah, it falls into that fantasy. But if you then if you had a spider in Tekken, stand up with boxing gloves on each of its legs, okay, wait, hold on a second. I get we had animals, but now you've crossed the line. So
But that's Alex. That's Alex. What you described with the spider is Alex. It's a dinosaur, bro. It's a dinosaur.
First of all,
you can't just say because it's got boxing gloves, it's a boxer.
Okay.
It's doing boxing as a martial art. It's still ridiculous, no? Not ridiculous.
No, it's ridiculous. You always do.
Alex and Roger basically more or less play exactly the same. I would
They're
only
palette
grant you
swaps.
this argument. Yeah, I would only grant you they're palette swaps essentially. I would only grant you this argument if Alex was a T-Rex, because now we've got a problem. But the model of Roger is the same as Alex. They're the same character.
He was a skin. He was alternate skin.
We can't have this conversation. You're too into Tekken. This
Right,
is
hold on. Are you
ridiculous.
telling me that you think that having Alex as a T-Rex is no different than having Alex as a raptor?
You mean, sorry.
Say that again. Am I
You mean
bugging?
a kangaroo?
It's a dinosaur. I don't care
Alex
what dinosaur
is
it
a
is.
dinosaur.
If it's a dinosaur that's extinct, it's far different than a kangaroo. A living animal that, yes, you see kangaroos punch people. Have you seen a dinosaur punch someone? Tell me that.
Palette swap. It's just a palette swap.
Okay. All right. Yeah. You're in defense mode. I can't.
Okay. Let's say that
it's the palette swap. It's the palette swap.
Okay. Let's say that the kangaroo. Let's say the kangaroo was like Roger, but he was 15 feet tall, right? Or a 15-foot animal that stands, I don't know, like an elephant or whatever, like some variation of animal that we don't associate with martial arts. Would you not see that as different from Roger?
A dinosaur is different to a kangaroo.
Yes, a dinosaur is different to a
Yes.
kangaroo. What
Yes.
I'm saying to you is that the way that they're designed, right? Alex and Roger basically stand the same, right? They have the same moveset. They can operate in the same way. An elephant can't have Roger's moveset. So
I understand.
You see the elephant and go, this is a bit more crazy.
You're so far into Crazy Town, I can't find you anymore.
C4. What's more grounded martial arts? Roger and Alex or Clive? Because Clive is a human.
Grounded martial arts? Doesn't he have magic? Isn't he from like Final Fantasy or something?
Yeah. So what? And he's a human being, but they're fucking dinosaurs. So which one's more grounded?
I guess if you believe in dinosaurs.
No, you're taking the piss.
Alright, look.
I've never seen magic.
I got you at C4. I got you.
Have you seen magic? Tell me when you see magic. I'm not talking about David Blaine.
You
seen magic?
what he's saying.
Okay, try again. He's asking me what's more grounded in martial arts.
Which of these characters is more grounded? Like when you watch them and they're fighting and they're animating, which of them is more grounded to you? You're like, okay, that tracks with me in a martial arts context.
Yes.
Clive or Alex.
Does Clive use? Does one of them use magic?
Yes, the human does.
The magic one is less grounded. In my reality, magic isn't a thing. In my reality, dinosaurs did exist.
Sure.
So if you're talking about grounded in reality, the dinosaur who doesn't exist anymore is more grounded.
You're changing what you're saying. They said grounded in martial arts. The way we view martial arts.
The way they fight.
Yeah. Which one?
Okay.
If you look
I've
at
never
both
seen magic in martial arts. I've seen things box. You just said about kangaroos punching. I can envision a fucking velociraptor punching. That's more grounded because it's the same. It's literally the same body archetype. Hence why they swap them, right? They both lean back on their tail and punch.
Yeah.
That's grounded. Throwing fire from your hand like fucking Colonel Mustang from Full Metal, no, that's not grounded to me.
Right, so you've made our point for us then.
Yes, that your game is ridiculous and been fantasy from day.
Yeah, but you know there's levels to it. You know Clive is a completely different level, though. That's why.
I said this. I already granted this.
But we've also granted it. We're saying martial arts fantasy. We're not saying realism. No one here is saying Tekken is realistic.
I'm not saying that. You're defending the dinosaur in your game and saying it doesn't seem out of place.
Yeah, but the dinosaur played more Tekken than the fucking Clive.
But it's more than that. It's like I actually think Alex is a cop out only because like literally it was we have a kangaroo and there's no one else who can use this hitbox in this model. So we'll care about with this other character. Well, it can't be a human, so we'll just put this dinosaur, which is why he's so fringe and he appears in so few games that I genuinely think he doesn't count. And you might be like, that's just you coping. I'm like, no, I get it. They made a kangaroo that fits in, and they were like, well, what are we gonna do? Like, we've made this asset now. Like, we gotta do something with it. So the alternate skin had to be something ridiculous. I genuinely think he doesn't count, and I don't think it's unreasonable. Like, he doesn't count, and everyone in the community goes, yeah, he doesn't count. He doesn't feel like a second character. Like the ability, I keep saying this, the ability to point to outliers does not mean like, well, therefore there's been no consistency. Like if I say like humans have 2 legs, well, this human doesn't have 2 legs, therefore how can you say humans have 2 legs? I'm like, nigga, most humans have 2 legs. Like that's the default. Yes, there are exceptions that don't, right? But you can still make statements about the norm and about the core of it. And what we're saying is like, okay, typically it's a martial arts fantasy. It's started within this realm. But what about the dinosaur? I'm like, okay, nigga, yeah, the dinosaur is there, but still, it doesn't automatically evaluate the point. Okay, what about this other one?
I don't want to keep okay, on this point, but Chad, there's a lot of outliers. Everything.
It's just the severity, C4. You understand the severity of it wasn't as bad back then. Now it's like the doors are completely blown off. That's what they're arguing about.
I agree, but I'm saying it's been doing that since the beginning of.
But the doors weren't completely blown off back then. You could literally compare Tekken 7 Gen to Tekken 8 Gen, and you could tell the fucking doors are blown the fuck off because this guy's doing fucking jumping Samsara fucking moves now.
I agree. I don't think it's a bad thing, by the way.
Let me read out this super chat because again, this is another thing where we're having this conversation, but I don't think people are listening to what we're saying. He's Utaka, one of the OG creators of Tekken, has said in articles the goal in making Tekken was to be different from Virtua Fighter, focus on unrealistic characters. I literally have the article. Nobody here has said that Tekken is realistic.
Yeah,
Nobody here. Okay. Let me try this again. Okay, for people in chat that are not listening.
Oh, it hurts.
Thank you for the $10. Nobody is saying that we believe that there was a man walking around that had previously been thrown into a volcano that can now turn into a devil, and we thought that it was realistic. What we are saying is that at its core, Tekken was grounded in martial arts fantasy, not real martial arts like cage fighting, martial arts like The Raid or Crouching Tiger, Hidden Dragon. That's what we are talking. No one is saying, for the love of God, that Tekken is realistic. Okay, do you really think that I turned on Tekken and I saw a man distort his body to do a hell sweep and thought this is realistic? But it would be a bit different if when Kazuya's doing that now. If Kazuya does the hell sweep and it's like Dragon Ball, where instead of just being a minor juggle, he yeets Jin into the air mid gameplay and he goes flying, crashing through 10,000 different landscapes, and he's shooting lasers at the same time. Like there are severities of being ridiculous. And Tekken, if you look at old Tekken games, let's say Tekken 5, you go from 5 to 6. If you look me in the eyes and you can't see the difference, you can't see the leap. When Alisa, and I mean, for fuck's sake, Lars is in Ultimate Ninja Storm. He's in Ultimate Ninja Storm. It's in your face. There was a leap. And they've continued to move the goalpost, and now we are at Mary Zone, where we are. The reason that this video or this stream is called "Has It Gone Off the Rails" is because she's the end of season 2. We're going into season 3. Her character has massive story implications. Okay, she's not just some any character. She is the embodiment of a fighting god, Ancient Ogre, who we've all been clamoring for a long time. We asked for Ancient Ogre, and we got Hey Y'all instead. Like, this is not where we wanted to go with this character, and they've moved it now into a place that old Tekken players don't really. It doesn't look like Tekken to us. Like, if you put me in cryo sleep and I woke up and you showed me a Tekken match between certain characters, I would say to you, is this a new 3D fighting game? And I'm not even taking the piss. When her and Zafina were clashing, I was looking at the screen like, what is going on? Like, I get Kazi and Jin did it, but does everyone have to do it now? And so that's why I always talk about the pie chart. The pie chart started with martial arts fantasy, kind of dumb shit over here, like Kangaroo, Yoshimitsu.
Yeah.
And then as time has gone on, the martial arts fantasy has slowly started to disappear, and we are just dealing with Shonen Jump bullshit. And I don't want anyone to think that I hate anime. As you
No.
can see behind me, I clearly don't. It's just I
Yeah,
don't want anime and everything. If I want to buy a Jump Stars game, I'll buy a Jump Stars game. If I want to buy Tekken, I'll buy Tekken. Okay, I hope I've made myself clear though.
Oh yeah, and people that say, "Oh, she's not the ancient ogre replacement. She's like a different ogre and blah blah blah." They put fucking ancient ogre's ass on the screen, and then they also fucking did a remix of his fucking song. So I don't want to hear that fucking excuse either, because you guys like saying that shit too. Where like, "Oh, she's not the ancient ogre replacement. She's just another ogre from Madagascar or some shit." Well, then why the fuck did they remix his fucking song then, and then flash fucking ancient ogre in the trailer?
I also yeah, I wanted to make one point and then also ask the question I wanted to ask a second ago. Again, just to use examples to, even if you disagree with my point, to at least understand where I'm coming from. Like, I think about a move like the People's Elbow in pro wrestling. Why the fuck was that a special move?
Yeah.
It's an elbow drop, right?
It's meant to be a joke,
Isn't it?
right?
Right, it's an elbow drop. But within the fiction of pro wrestling, we allow ourselves to believe that there was something about this elbow that was devastating, right? And we can wrap our head. It was electrified. The most electrifying move in sports entertainment, right? Is that realistic? No, of course it's not realistic. But we allowed ourselves to believe it within the fiction of this. But if you can't see how it would be different if The Rock literally just went like other side of the room, flicked his finger, and then the other person flew out the ring, that'd be very different, right? Like it would be a very different thing. And you'd be like, oh, but neither of those things are realistic. But one, it's like within the
that happened.
No, we've seen that. Yeah,
remember Kevin Nash and Hulk Hogan.
Yeah,
and everyone went,
yeah.
"What the fuck?"
What the fuck? Right, exactly. And it's like, and my point is, the people who would be like, they're exactly the same. They're either being dumb or disingenuous, and they can pick one. They can pick either one. But like, they generally don't see the difference. In which case, I'm like, we need to stop having this conversation. Or they do, and they're pretending not to. And I'm like, I don't get what we're having. But they are different. But it's not enough to be like, well, that thing was unrealistic, therefore anything goes. I'm like, no, there's clearly a bubble. And the second question I want to have, and it's a complete pivot, but it might move us away from this topic, but still keep us relevant. Yes, is the following, right? The Tekken team want to make a character who is loved, right? They don't just want to make things for casuals. They want to make things they get the casuals excited and to get a new audience and to do all this stuff, right? They want to win everyone. Here's my question to all of you. Imagine Harada-san pulls you into the room and goes, hey, we have two designs. One is Marizo as she exists, and another is like basically ancient ogre but a woman, right? Or let's say you lean into like Marissa from Street Fighter, right? Like buff. Or there's many different directions. My question to you is like, do you believe that the people in the room believed that this was like a slam dunk? That this character would be universally loved? Or do you believe that they knew their character would be somewhat divisive?
They must have known it was going to be divisive.
Right? Because I feel like we're having all these arguments about this character, but the bigger question is like, why this design? Surely there are designs that could have won everyone. You could have a Guna. You could actually have smoking hot, super sexy goon bait character. They actually look super tough and like great to fight. And like,
can I answer? It's going to be like a milk toasty answer. So I like the concept of ogre. I like Kotal Khan as well from Mortal Kombat. I like the god's aesthetic.
Yeah.
I played him in Cross Tekken. When they made her the next version of ogre a girl, to me, it's kind of playing two bases. It's like for the Gooners, you can play this character, and for the ogre fans, you can play this character. I probably would try the character, but then aesthetically over time, I'd be like, this isn't my ogre, and then I'd move off. But I would be interested first of all. So maybe they're trying to tap into two types of players. It didn't work clearly, but yeah, for ogre fans, they're gonna try the ogre replacement, and for Gooners, they've got a new Gooner.
Yeah. Also, I don't want anyone to get offended that we're using the word Gooner. It's an easy word to try and describe this situation. Yeah. And I do want to make the point that I argued with someone on Twitter about this. Obviously, they make characters look a certain way to attract certain types of people, whatever that might be. But I think that it's okay to make a sexy character. I don't think there's anything wrong with that. They've been doing that for a long time in video games. I ain't got a problem with it. But what I do have a problem with is that Tekken, in my opinion, seems to have an obsession with like the very doll face, just finished her GCSEs, character and then bring her out. And I'm just like, can't we just have an Ivy? Like, can we not have an Ivy Valentine? I don't need the whip, but a grown woman, you know, that like I like Lydia. I think she's pretty cool, you know. She's battle tested. She's a Polish prime minister. She's
Vanessa?
like she's
Virtua Fighter's
convincing
Vanessa?
as a martial artist.
Yeah.
Yeah, she's convincing as a martial artist. I'm just gonna read out some super chats before we. I know you guys want to move on to another topic. So I'll just read out the super chats. Sorry, Finn, did you want to say something?
Do I? Yeah, read the super chats, but would you allow me after that? Give me like three minutes to present something.
Yeah, sure.
Okay.
Sure. Jory, thank you for the $4.99. This dude and his semantics are giving me an eye ache. I don't know who Jory's referring. I think he might have been talking
Probably
about
me.
C4. Yeah,
it's probably me. I don't know if they know what semantics mean, so they're just saying. Every argument is semantics. It's about words, but nice try.
Mike ATL, thank you for the $10. So we're gonna overlook Kazuya literally shooting beams from his eyes since what part of martial arts is that?
Mike ATL always plays devil's advocate.
Bro, yes, we've said this. Your ability to point to examples doesn't invalidate the point. There are humans with 9 fingers. That doesn't mean that humans are a 10-fingered species. Anyway, let's move on.
No, I do wanna just say there's a difference between Devil shooting a very slow laser, which is a high, and then if they bring out Devil as a play, let's just say away from Heat, Devil as a playable character in Tekken 8, the laser is now mid. It's woven into every part of his moveset, and he's not just doing 3+4 laser as his anime thing. Now everything is him flying, him picking you up, and there's a difference there. So yeah, there was mysticism and supernatural shit before, but there's varying degrees of it. I always said that Tekken, it's sort of like it always let you know that Kazuya was the devil because his eye was always red. But there was a lot of times where you didn't see the devil. You just sort of like got glimpses of it, and every now and then when he was fully pissed, him and Jin would fight, and then it would go away. It was kind of cool. But in Tekken 8, they went 1,000 steps further in their presentation of Devil, and there was literally a Dragon Ball Z moment in Tekken when Devil Kazuya shot that like minus power negative energy ball, and Jin flew up into the sky to stop it like Goku, closed his eyes, had a whole conversation with his mom, came back as a reformed character. I was watching, I was like, oh my god, it's literally Dragon Ball Z. So yeah, they always had magic, it always had supernatural stuff, but if you think it's the same as what it was back then you are lying. It's objectively not true. What's the mode? Thank you for the $5. Tekken is just grounded bones, but it isn't a grounded game, and I never thought it was growing up. Yeah, we'll agree to disagree. I think we covered that though. Mike ATL, thank you for the $5. Sounds like you lot are arguing that the fighting styles have expanded beyond standing on the ground, punching and kicking.
Bro, wait till Mike ATL, wait till they start making King having magic shit. Then you're not gonna be playing that fucking devil's advocate shit on us. Wait till they start giving King that fucking Final Fantasy bullshit. Watch.
Yeah, this doesn't make it. So if King started calling like leopards on screen, would you say that they've just expanded his moveset beyond what it was? Like, why can't they just expand the wrestling moveset? Why can't he do a jackknife powerbomb or a Batista bomb? Why does he have to like call the Animal Kingdom on screen? Like, there are ways to expand the martial arts side of things without throwing Tekken at its core under the bus. Okay, like, what if he took his tail off and started whacking you with it? Like, would you find that acceptable? Sorry, jaguars, not leopards.
I wouldn't wish that on my worst enemy. I wouldn't wish that.
It's
but
just,
they would learn their lesson if it happened.
VTech, is that? Pardon. Thank you for the $2. C4 will start
That
winning
picture's
and
funny.
get hooked. That picture is funny.
That is funny, so funny.
And OJ, thank you for the $2. Oldest character is Eliza, and she's a vampire.
Lol, it's true.
Yeah, where's that
canon.
bitch now?
That's canon.
Get her ass out of here. I mean, again, Eliza's another one. Why?
Yeah.
What was her gimmick? She bites you and her boobs get bigger.
Yep. Good times, man. Tekken, great game.
If I can just chime in real quick, the only reason why Eliza even existed was to serve as a template to see how two-dimensional characters would operate in Tekken. That's why basically she was the vanguard for Akuma and Geese. That's why she was inserted in what was it, Tekken Revolution.
Yeah.
that game wasn't really in full. It wasn't really available to everybody. I think it was only a PlayStation exclusive, if I'm not mistaken.
And it was
So
free, right?
It's free.
I'm not too sure if it was free, but I know it wasn't on Xbox. I know that, and I don't think it really got that big. But I think really the point of that game was to see, kind of like as a beta of sorts, to see how a 2D like character like Akuma, like Geese, would operate. And lo and behold, that's who we got in Tekken 7, which came shortly after that. So that's why I believe that's why that character was even inserted.
Yeah, I'm gonna let Finn present what he wants now before we move on. But for people that are asking to come on the podcast, there'll be a section where I let people on. But after we finish getting through these points,
the last thing I said was that I am for democracy, right? Actually, I'm not, because I'm obviously German, so I can try to establish a dictatorship. Because I think actually all those people that voted with yes, they like that and shit, they are pigs. Now let me actually narrate through this, because there are two aspects to this. The one is the Marisol stuff, but I think this is like the same audience. These are the same people. This guy that you see on screen, it's the same people. So this was under a video where it was about martial laws DSS. Now I don't want to fully explain it because we don't have the time, but everyone who knows what I'm talking about knows that DSS was completely butchered and all the execution was taken out of it and techniques were literally removed. Now here you see an example of a pig, because that guy responds, I will be honest, I feel like you are making a mountain out of a molehill, so I'm like over-exaggerating, right? Disregarding the fact that there are tons of mid to high execution moves still in the game, and that several of them, like the new blue sparks, were added in Tekken 8. I don't think making DSS or Death Fist easier to execute are bad for the game. Why? Because they range from being important to being essential for the character. DSS was never essential for the character, by the way, but it doesn't matter. DSS has some very powerful moves locked behind them, blah, blah, blah. But now the important part. This changes nothing for the experienced player.
Oh, God.
And this is where you know it's a pig, because that guy comments and doesn't even know what they did to DSS. He says that it changes nothing for the experienced players. They literally outright removed techniques that were basically exclusively for the experienced player. Like something like, while standing for DSS, follow-up, right? In Tekken 7, Go Saint literally counter hit confirmed this in tournament, while standing for DSS 3+4. Now, why do I go with the pig energy? Because I think these people are responsible for a certain phenomenon. Mike, this is the second thing, then I'm done. I will read this out, but this is what it reminds me of. Now, this happened in the chat, the third might know about this. This happened in a different context, but I want you to imagine to hear to the story and think about Tekken while you listen to either read it or I will also read it out. And just think about Tekken here, not about what it is actually about, because it's about Magic, the Gathering, but just think Tekken here, because this is what I mean when I say pigs. This tweet garnered incredible attention in that community. Some people said it was dehumanizing, which, yeah, it is, but I think it has a good purpose. So just imagine I'm talking about Tekken, right?
I like how you call him a pig. You should call him something worse, like a fucking, like a knuckle-dragging, fucking foaming-out-the-mouth retard. That's what I'll call him.
You will see. The tweet goes as follows. You have a favorite restaurant that you have dined at for many years now. You love it because they serve high-quality food and are staffed by people who care about making the experience of eating at the restaurant good. One day you notice a new item on the menu. Slop. What's this for? You ask the waiter. It's for the pigs. Pigs eat slop. Over time, a second flavor of slop shows up on the menu. Then a third. Then you notice that some of the old menu items you used to love now come with a non-optional side of slop. That would be Jin Kazama. All menu items are now designed with the pigs in mind, on the chance that one of them might try their hand at human food. The quality and preparation of the human food that's left on the menu also starts to degrade. When you ask the restaurant staff about it, they inform you that they no longer have the resources to make sure the human food is prepared correctly. They are too busy making slop. You notice that some of the restaurant patrons that you have become good friends with have stopped showing up. That would be Lisa and Mirio, by the way, for example. You stopped showing up, maybe. You are upset with the direction the restaurant is taking and post about it on social media. You get two types of replies. One, I am a pig and I eat slop. Two, the restaurant is doing so well and has so many patrons, how can you be upset? Getting more customers into the restaurant has to be a good thing. The second comment is particularly frustrating because it naively assumes that the entire restaurant clientele wants the same things, but you don't want 5 different flavors of slop. You want human food that is prepared by people who are passionate about food and who care about the experience of dining at the restaurant being a good one. It's something you used to be able to get here, but you can't anymore. You don't care if there are more pigs eating at the restaurant now. You like things just fine when there were no pigs. And contrary to the sentiment, things have gotten worse for you as the restaurant has grown, not better. Now,
mic drop.
Yeah,
Yeah, that's strong. That's strong.
this is what I feel in Tekken basically. And yeah, the tweet that the guy did in the Magic context, people said it's dehumanizing. Why do you go with the pig analogy? Well, I wouldn't have seen the tweet. No one would have talked about this if he hadn't used the pig analogy. So he was actually smart in doing that. Because obviously it's on purpose offending, right? But I think there's a point to this. I'm gonna say it is gonna be a democracy, and if the pigs want to vote and they get the slop, it is what it is. I can't change anything about it. But as Mike said best, he likes anime and he likes Tekken, but he doesn't necessarily like anime in his Tekken. And in the Magic context, the professor said he likes spaghetti and cheesecake, but he doesn't like cheesecake in his spaghetti. So that's like basically my take. Yeah, that is
pineapple on pizza.
Exactly. So that's my kind of presentation done. And I think the same people are kind of the same pigs are kind of responsible for this shit with law. Revert laws DSS, you idiots, and please re-establish RIP as a caster for Tekken World Tour. I will never forgive you for this shit, Namco Bandai. Thank you.
These things will never happen.
He's spitting though.
Unfortunately.
That's
These
right,
things will
you're
never
right.
happen because they're going down in that direction where they want to appeal to more people. I know I keep sounding like a broken record, and I don't mean to sound like I'm preaching to people, but from a business standpoint, money talks, bullshit runs a marathon. And at the end of the day, these people are making money doing this bullshit, and it's going to get worse. We still have Marduk, we still have Julia, Bob, that's going to be set to make their returns. I'm almost certain they're going to make a return, and they're going to be really stupid. Kunimitsu more than likely as well. And I just don't see this game being changed in any meaningful way that is going to appease people like myself and maybe most of you. This is going to keep going in the direction it's going to go. The only way I can see this possibly going back is if there's a massive backlash, something that was similar to like when they had that announcement of grabs being teched and losing chip damage. It's going to take something like that. This is why I juxtapose it with what's happening with Call of Duty and Battlefield, where there's just certain things from the community in making their voice heard, but also having a potential game as a competitor potentially overperform, like how Battlefield 6 is, which caused Call of Duty to make certain changes. Unless certain things like that happen, Tekken 8 is going to continue being the RPG nonsensical thing that it is. Go ahead.
But that's fair though. Like I feel like in economics there's a concept known as demonstrated preferences, right? People can say with their mouth, "Oh, I want this. I like this. I don't like that." But if people keep playing it and people keep buying it, then that's what they really think. You know
It's silent acceptance. Yeah.
So you don't think season 2 backlash was enough? You don't think the season 2 backlash?
I don't think so because
No, it was not enough.
I think the real test would be this: how many people were playing season 1, right? And then when season 2 backlash happened, how many fewer people are playing now? And you have to keep in mind that even if they have a relatively small player base, that player base is buying costumes, they're buying characters, and stuff like that. So actually, from a financial standpoint, there's a very good chance that this is way more successful than Tekken 7 has been. Like, there's a very good chance.
So you think season 2 is more successful financially than season 1?
I think potentially, yeah. Potentially.
They're not looking at it. What they're looking at in this frame, because the Namco executives have already made statements late 2024 that they actually like the direction that the game is going. They actually like the money that the game is bringing in. So they kind of like the direction and the success that the game is having. And I'm pretty sure that they have continued to earn even to now. So this is why I do not see any meaningful changes. Now, if that was the opposite, if this game was losing money and they were falling short of the Namco executives' expectations, then I could see them doubling back and changing course. This is why, despite all of the things that we're saying here, I do not feel that anything meaningful is going to happen, because at the end of the day, they are making money. Now, I think one of you mentioned, I think it was Chad, where it said that even though I may have butchered this, you may have not so many players playing Tekken. If you're looking at Steam numbers, which everybody likes to swear by, the numbers is irrelevant. It's how much money those people are pumping into the game. That's like having a YouTube channel and you can have 1 million subscribers, but how many of those subscribers are actually super chatting you? Are they channel members?
Or like a Twitch stream, how many people are subbing and stuff?
Yeah,
That's what I mean. So you can have, this is why I look at other niches where you can have a channel where you have, like, say, 2,000 subs, but those subscribers are really investing into that person financially. So that person is making more money potentially than someone with a larger channel. This is why I look at when Tekken 8 is basically going into this full casual mode, the casual market is always going to be larger than the hardcore market. It's just that the casuals tend to be not as vocal as opposed to the hardcore. The hardcore market are the ones that's going to be more in line with, hey, I want the game to be this particular way because this is what I've come to realize and know the game as. The casuals are looking at it as, I can hop on, hop off, mash my buttons, have my fun. Ooh, look at this waifu. This looks cool. They're looking at aesthetics, whereas the hardcore are looking at it in terms of how are the game mechanics? Is the choreography on par if we're looking at it as a martial arts character? The typical casual don't give a flying fuck about any of that. They're looking at what is cool. Can I do it? Do I have to spend a long time mastering this character? I want to pick up and play. This is why a lot of times, especially in America, my country, this country, I hate to say it, Americans prefer shit that's easy. They don't like to do shit that takes work. This is why Virtua Fighter never got off the ground fully in America.
Yeah, there's multiple reasons.
But at the end of the day, you look at something that is more accessible, something that is more easier to get into from the jumping off point, like a Street Fighter, like a Tekken. That's the reason why Virtua Fighter and King of Fighters did not really get off the ground like that here in America, because those two games require more effort on behalf of the player. So anyway, that's all I'll say.
Red. Just to even like play with that, what Mike has now on screen. Mike, if you scroll this completely to the top, you see the ratio of picks, and we have 77% casual players, 23% hardcore players. This was also like 30,000 votes or something, because Moonsault made a poll, right? So we have 70% picks, and then if you scroll down, you see the rating, which also has over 20,000 votes, and you see that it roughly aligns, right? 74% would rate Tekken 8 in brackets seriously, with 3 or 4 stars, which is the maximum rating on this. Like, that means like basically a perfect game. So the picks are happy with their slop.
I wanna add one more thing, and then I'll step out, because obviously the chat's getting really loud, and I've said my point. But I just want to add one more thing too. So I work in schools, and I work with a lot of young people. And one of the things I noticed very recently, and I hadn't even thought about in all my years of bitching about fighting games and looking at marketing and blah blah blah, I hadn't even thought about this. So I had my little cousin. He doesn't have a console, so he's new to gaming. And I set him down, and I had him play Tekken. And he kind of enjoyed mashing the buttons. He liked the cool anime characters that kind of gravitate towards them. And I had him play Street Fighter for a bit. And something really interesting happened. He found Street Fighter harder to play than Tekken. But he really identified with the story mode and with Luke. Because Luke is like, hey kids, here's how you do it. How you do a jumping attack. And I realized that, like, if you care about your franchise, you need to get kids into your franchise. And I think about how old were we when we first got into fighting games. We were probably pretty young, right? When we first tried these games. And as weird as it sounds, I think Mary Zoe is great for getting children into Tekken in a way that say Devil Jin probably isn't. And
Which characters
Luke,
were great in getting us in as kids?
I think probably for me it would have probably been like Eddie Gordo and Ling when they showed. Remember the Tekken 3 demo? I remember them being and then just mashing the two buttons and kicking my friend's ass by just mashing X and circle. That was probably a big part. And if you're a little bit older, maybe Nina, like. But my point I'm trying to make is that the lore decisions don't make sense to me. But I'm like, I remember thinking like Luke is trash. Who the fuck is Luke for? But then watching my little cousin respond to Luke, I'm like, oh, I think Luke is for them. Like Luke's not for. I already have Ryu. I have Ryu. I don't need.
You think Tekken suffers from like the main character being a villain, and like little kids maybe get turned off by that shit?
I think that's part of it too. Yeah, but I'm thinking like I'm just saying what everyone's kind of already saying. But I'm thinking, but even on a generational level, I think a lot of what they're trying to do is like we already got the old people. Who gives a fuck with it? They're gonna play this game no matter who we put in. We need people we need people to get the young kids in. Who are the young kids? Young kids didn't grow up with. Young kids didn't grow up with like Jackie Chan movies and shit. They need anime. We need some Jujutsu Kaisen in here. Like we need some hype shit. We need some anime shit. So give him some Claudio. Give him some Marizo. So I think that's probably a part of the decision too. That I hadn't even considered. I hadn't even considered it, but now I'm like,
Well, why do you think they haven't? Why do you think they haven't put an anime character then? Because you guys are all saying this shit, and it makes me like wonder. Like I'm also wonder why what Red Related would think. It just seems like obvious that they would just put an anime character at this point. If they're doing all this anime shit without putting an actual anime character, why? If they're just trying to cater to casuals, why the fuck aren't they just gonna put Goku in this game?
Because you don't.
I'm going to explain. This is very simple. This is right up.
Before we go on, because we didn't greet Shinblade. Shinblade, how are you doing, bro?
How you doing, man? There's so much blasphemy going on. It don't make no damn.
Yeah,
sense.
Shinblade's a pig, right, Blackheart?
It don't make no sense. Joe Budden should be the ambassador for this game, bro. Like, you know what I'm saying?
I'm banned from streams. I can't be the ambassador.
It don't matter if this game actually did suck. You should be the ambassador for Tekken 8. But the fact that you on the suck side is crazy.
Shinblade, what's up, homie?
What's up, baby? How you doing?
Man.
How you doing,
Stop
baby?
playing. Amazing.
Fancy, how you doing, baby? C4.
Yo.
Had the third playing Tekken 8 and still hate on the game. But Blackheart, what's good, baby? How did that ass feel?
Yeah. You fucking posted our set at 300 ms. You fucking and you said, "Oh, I beat Blackheart. Come here in my house."
Okay.
now.
On that note,
I love
I'm
you.
out.
I
It's just
love
about
you.
to
All right, later,
hot.
Chad.
It'll be
Hold
okay.
on, Chad. Hold
What?
on. Where you going?
I'm stepping out, man. The chat's about to get crazy. I can't keep up with these motherfuckers.
All right, I'm back.
When Shinblade
Damn.
shows up, all sensibility is done.
I'm taking a break. Execution's getting me.
All the
I just-
shit is here. All the brain is here. You hear me?
Yeah, I think it's probably just gonna go to a different direction. But I just want to at least address
yeah.
Joe Budden real quick. I would say because this is more like I said, I really don't care too much about the gamer side because I already know where this fucking game is at. But from a business standpoint, the reason why they haven't gone and put in an anime character yet is because the devs do know that to put an anime character in Tekken 8 or just Tekken in general is going to be a huge shift. So in my opinion, I think they're still gathering data. So that's why they're kind of dipping their toes in it. They're basically adding characters that are blurring that line. And then we can argue, right, which we are, whether Mary or Miari is a solid character or not. I think she's okay, but like I said, for those that are new to the chat, I just don't think she is good for Tekken, but that's my opinion. However, from a business standpoint, that character is going to bring in another market, and that is what the devs want. They want to continuously expand their portfolio in terms of differing audiences ranging from men, women, cosplayers, anime lovers, different age groups, and they're trying to appeal to that. Why? Because the development cycle in terms of cost for these games are ramping up, and they cannot simply recoup those costs by catering only to the hardcore market. This is why I always tell people the hardcore market is always the smaller audience with anything in business. We're the most loyal, I will say that. We're the most loyal and we're the most vocal. But in terms of the overall side and scope of earning potential that lies in the casuals. This
That's
is why
absolutely true.
this is why mobile games do so much money, because they appeal to casuals. You log in, you do your you mash your buttons, you log out. So this is why I see Namco and they're trickling this down into their various studios. Look, we need to expand. How can we do this? Okay, we can go toward this direction, which is more so in line with the casuals, but we have to, well, I want to say they have to, but they need to find some sort of balance to not overtly alienate the hardcore crowd, which are the people of which we represent here largely in the chat and on this panel. But from what I can see, and some of you may agree, that they have basically just said, fuck all of us. We're going to go 10 toes deep or down off to the casual. And I'm not a fan of that decision, but this is where we're at. And I have seen certain things when we look at Street Fighter 6, we look at other games. This is not just for Tekken as well. This is a market shift when it comes to most things competitive. But I don't want to overly take over this, but that's the gist of where I'm coming from.
I have one more question, sorry, but you think also too that their end goal is to basically basically remove fucking tournaments and get this game to be successful just through casual play, like basically like Super Mario Bros.
Yeah. So the thing is with tournament play, even back with even back with Tekken 7, the actual esports presence actually represented a small percentage in the greater scale of Tekken 7. So anytime you have the competitive aspect of your esports, your Tekken World Tour, your Capcom Pro Cup, that is still a very small percentage of the total gross of the total community of a fighting game, or even of any competitor. You can even look at Halo, Call of Duty. The overall total mass of the community of a particular game, especially one that is competitive, the tournament pro level aspect is not going to be the lion's share. Now you may ask, or you may not ask, why do they do it? They do it because a lot of casuals will tune in to watch their favorite or just pro players play so that they can level up. It serves as entertainment, and also it's also free advertising and marketing, because now people are going to be like, oh wow, I didn't know I can do this with that character. Okay, now let me go and see what this character. Oh, now I got to go buy the game. Oh well, okay, well now I bought the game. Now we have all these extra DLC. So it's more of an engagement tool. And this is why, even from a competitive standpoint, players that participate in these events, they may not be fully aware that them being there are many players that look at certain players, but look, I like this player. I may like Shinblade, for instance, right? He goes to a Tekken 8 tournament. Let's say he's in Tekken World Tour. I may end up buying Tekken 8 because, ooh, I like this particular player. A lot of it goes hand in hand in that. This is like next level business, next level marketing. The typical gamer does not look at things like this. They just look at it from the controller standpoint, and that's fine. That's cool, but there's other levels to this. And this is the things that I like to look at, because this gives me the forecast of where the franchise is going next. This is why we're seeing the shift toward the casual. This is why we're looking at the fucking win button, which is the rage drives, the rage arts. They're trying to make this shit as easy as possible for new people to come in. And then when you look at the guest characters, who are they pulling these guests from? They're not looking in terms of actual martial art based characters. You're looking at Clive. He's from Final fucking Fantasy. Noctis, Final Fantasy, Negan, The Walking Dead. They're looking at other characters to bring them in, to bring in that particular character's audience so that it can further expand. That is the goal. I'm sorry if I'm preaching, but this is, you know, I
Wait,
just want
so
to just kind of.
this is sorry, I already said last one, but this is actually the last one. So then, why do you think they're not balancing this game? Because I know they're saying they're not balancing this game for tournament play, but if tournament play is that low on the fucking totem pole, then what is the reason why they're not balancing it? Because wouldn't you think that balancing this game would be more catering to casuals, like balancing frequently, or do you think that's not catering to casuals, balancing frequently?
So the answer to that question, and that's a good question. One, let me try to see if I can structure this right. The typical casual, and this is kind of how I frame it, even when I talk to my audience. The typical casual has no idea, and no disrespect, they have no idea who the fuck Mike Hollow is. They have no idea who Shinblade is. They have no idea who Arslan Ash is, Knee, and so on. They come home from work, they log in the game, they mash their buttons, go about their business, hang out with the girl, or what have you. So the balancing aspect does not impact them as much as it impacts us, because we take the game at a serious level that the traditional casual does not. Now, I have heard some people in my comment section that do not understand what I mean by this. Every single person at some point in time is a casual. This is where we start. Everybody is a scrub. Even me and Arslan Ash were scrubs and casuals at first. Where you start does not dictate where you end up. However, most people, which represent the casuals, they just do not care about the minutia of the game in which we do in terms of the frames. And most casuals don't even understand frame data. They just see a character that looks cool, and we're gonna press our buttons. Ha ha ha! I win, you win. Who cares? We're gonna go about our day. For us, we do care. We want the game balanced, but for them, it's not so much. And this is the thing where, even going further beyond, people will say, "Well, those casuals don't exist." People seem to think that the people that play Tekken and other fighting games, that they just know who Main Man is. They know who a Mike Hollow is. No, they fucking don't. They have no idea.
They don't even
just
watch
know,
streams. They don't even
watch streams.
Yeah.
A lot of them, they just go to mash their buttons, press their shit, maybe for an hour or so, and they go about their bit. They go about their real life shit.
Yeah.
We are the ones that represent the hardcore crowd. We are the ones that look into the frame data. We are the ones that want to actually get better and develop as players, and maybe even pursue a career in the competitive field, like people like Shinblade and even yourself. You know what I'm saying? Which I feel you represent the new age, because you seem pretty new, you seem pretty young. So you are kind of like that next generation of competitive player. You're entertaining, you're good at the game. But at the end of the day, the traditional casual does not care about these type of things. They log in, press their buttons, and move on. So that's why, even though the casual market is vast, it is large, they're not as vocal. You're not going to see a bunch of casuals go out and tweet at Harada to change this move. Oh, this move is +5. They don't give a fuck. They don't even understand that concept. So that's why those aspects, those arguments are only really coming from us. And because we are the smaller group, and because Namco is still making money in spite of us bitching and complaining, those of us that do, we don't really matter to them.
Shinblade, did you want to go?
Yeah, I want to say, Red, he got some points, but it is the casual players that are tweeting their crazy stuff to Arada. I don't see the hardcore players that's complaining. They're just quiet. They're not trying to get involved with the Twitter war. A lot of people, I research them, I look them up. They're like green ranks, and I just got tired. Like several in a row. I like, who is this dude? Yeah, Harada's retweeting. He's a green rank. Doesn't even play the game. He got like 60 matches on Tekken 8, shit like that. And the players that's actually playing, like top players, I seen Joker get second place and stood on top of a rock in front of an ocean and took a picture because he got second place. So the players that matter, they're loving the game. Like I was saying, like in the balancing what Joe Budden said.
Wait, did you say Joker loves the game?
Joker stood on top of a rock
But
the
Joker
middle of the
tweeted out
ocean
yesterday.
and
But
took
Joker-
a picture that he got second place. If you don't love the game, you stand in front of the ocean. I don't know what you talking
Shimblade,
about.
that you can't do that. You can't do that.
I can't do that.
Joker, nah, you can't do that. Joker wouldn't say, if you asked him right now, do you love this game in terms of like balancing and where things are competitively, he would tell you.
And Arslan
no,
too. I remember Arslan making a tweet before he won Evo France that I wish that Tekken 8 was fun again.
No, he was losing.
They work for this game, bro.
They're
They work
human. They're human, Joe Budden. Arsenal ass made a tweet of him going outside doing a fucking what was it, like a running a marathon? And when he stopped playing Tekken 8, but he was still playing Tekken 8. They're human, so y'all take their word as
Yeah, but
law.
you're saying they don't complain about the game. They do.
No. I don't like that y'all taking their word as law. You gotta stop that. They're human. He was losing at the time. Now that he's winning, he's posting nothing but positive stuff. Thank you for believing in me. Like
Yeah,
y'all
but he
ain't.
doesn't say anything positive about the game though.
No, he's playing the game. Okay, fair to you. If I'm going to the gym every day working out, but I'm saying, I hate working out. I'm crazy, right?
Yeah, but you're
I'm
not
working
getting
out.
paid
But
to go
that's
to the
not
gym.
your work. He's
No,
wait.
Answer the question.
That is-
Wait. Answer the question. This is simple.
Okay.
If I'm going to the gym working out every day for 8 hours straight, and you like, you like working out? I say, hell no, it's just ass. I'm crazy as hell, right?
Bro, but
Truthfully answer that question. Just yes or no.
In my opinion, what you're doing there is mind reading. I'm not a fan of it. I take people for what they are saying to my face. And Kokoma literally said the game is so ass that we should euthanize all Tekken players. That is how shit this is. So
No.
Shimblade, you're saying that like it's like free choice and casual. They're getting paid to play.
Yo. I think like the brainwash is taking over y'all minds. I asked y'all a simple question. If I'm working out at the gym every day, 8 hours straight, and you ask me, do I like working out? And I say that shit's ass. Do you think I'm crazy? Yes or no?
If you're doing it for free, you're crazy. If you're getting paid, you're not crazy.
Simple question. Yes or no? Yes or no?
No.
No.
You can't compare it.
Oh my! See, this is the problem. Y'all hate being wrong so much.
What is that analogy, Shimblade?
No, just you guys play Tekken 8 for 10, 12 hours a day and call it ass. That don't make no fucking sense.
Because I got 200 viewers.
Playing the damn game. No, that don't make sense, bro. Like this Twitter shit, y'all got too attached to the game as ass, but you play it all the time because it's fun. But the conversation at your mouth is that it's ass, and it pleases everybody. Hold on, wait. I got you, Mike. Hold on, Mike. And it pleases everybody because they're ass too. No one's good is complaining about this damn game. No one's good.
Bro. Fuck
no. Joe Boy's not good.
Bro, look at Fergus,
Wait, let Blackheart answer this because Blackheart already answered this in a video.
I just wanna say something.
There's a little joke at the end, man.
You're comparing Tekken 8 to something that most people do for themselves. Wait. That is gym, but it's like saying, do you like going to work every single day of your life?
No, that's different.
What is everybody
That's
gonna
a
do?
good
different.
No, I hate
That's
it.
different
I hate
analogy.
To wake up at 5 a.m. to go.
You have to work to make money, man.
That's what they're doing playing Tekken. They're making money.
No, hold on, Joe Budden. It's only a few. It's only like.
Well,
5%
Arslan
make
Ash.
money.
You just said Arslan Ash. Is he
It's
not?
only
Is he not
5%
playing
of
this
people
game
that
and
make
making
money.
money?
It's only 5% of people that make money.
Top players.
I just wanted to stop the conversation real quick. First of all, there's plenty of pro players online that are talking about balancing this game and updating it. Joker is one of them.
Look at this tweet too. I'm gonna put it in the stream chat. That's Fergus' tweet.
The other thing that I want to, I'll put Fergus' tweet up as well. The other thing I wanted to say is, with regards to the gym analogy, I've watched documentaries on bodybuilders where they said that it's like what they're doing is miserable. Like they're in the gym 3 times a day or for 5 hours, and they don't like the process. And as soon as it's over, they feel like a weight is off their chest. So if I was going to the gym 8 hours a day and without a purpose in mind, you might look at me sideways, but bodybuilders are like doing it for a living, for recognition. Austin Ash.
Man, say bodybuilders. Mike, I
No,
said bodybuilders.
But you said 8 hours a day.
Casuals. You got casuals playing 8 hours a day. Mike, it's casual. I'm looking at them. I'm looking at these people. I'm not talking about.
That you brought up. You said they were green ranks. How are they playing?
No. What? No. Yeah, no. Not everyone. I'm saying some of these people. You got green ranks. You got people that play all day. Just complaining on Twitter. You got green ranks. People that play all day. A lot of people that play all day are complaining, and they play all day. Go do something else. You're playing all day because you enjoy the goddamn game. But
Taking 8, makes you at a level. Hold on, wait. Damn.
Out of it, you know.
Taking 8 puts you at a level. Blackheart, you shouldn't be saying nothing. You number 1 on the leaderboard, my guy. You're number 1. You're number 1 on the leaderboard, my guy. How you saying the game?
Bro, Shimblade, me and Blackheart, if we streamed like Resident Evil, we get like 10 viewers. Why do you think we're playing Tekken 8?
You should have a I love Tekken 8 shirt on right now. Until you have a I love Tekken 8 shirt on, Joe Budden, you can't say nothing. Because you love this damn game. You stream it, you watch it, you even play other games.
Of course I stream it. I make revenue out of it, bro. Of course I stream it. But if I were to play it casually,
you don't just stream it. You don't just stream it, Blackheart. You're number 1 on the leaderboard. You're number 1 on the leaderboard, Blackheart. You don't just stream it. You got goals, my guy.
Oh, why do you think Blackheart streams this game? In 7, we had no clue who Blackheart was. In Tekken 8, all of a sudden, this guy has God on every character.
Same with you, Joe Budden. Hold on.
Exactly. Same with me, too. We both blew up in this game.
We would not know who y'all are.
Yeah, we both blew up in this game. So why do you think we still stream this fucking game?
Wait. You owe Tekken 8 a favor just off the rip. Just off the strength. You know what I'm saying? Y'all owe Tekken 8 a favor off the strength. Y'all shouldn't be riding this damn bot train. This game trash. That's a bot train. Because if the game trash, we're not playing no trash game. Let's play Street Fighter tomorrow, y'all. Hey, let's play Fatal Fury, everybody. Hey, let's boot up JoJo's. Let's boot up.
We're not gonna get the same viewers on those games. We're not gonna get the same viewers.
Let's boot up Dragon Ball Z Fighters. What are we talking about? Let's boot up stuff that we're gonna get tired of.
Just one thing. Just what? Allow me, Shimblade. One thing to the Arslan Ash stuff where he said he's only positive, right? This is his tweet from like the last 10 days.
I did not say only positive.
You said that. You said
they don't complain. You said they don't complain.
No, here's Arslan Ash for you. Here's Arslan Ash for you saying, okay, wait, here's, let me land. Here's Arslan Ash for you. Top 8 of Master Event and Master Plus should be first to free. Now, Arslan Ash never said this in Tekken 7. Could that maybe imply that he thinks the game is still mad fucking volatile and wishes that shit should be first to free, which actually I agree with. This Evo is Asuka and Yoshimitsu. My relationship with Tekken 8 is kind of strange. Sometimes I really like it. It feels like a puzzle I want to solve, but other times...
Look at the quote comments, too. Look at the quote comments. Look at the quote comment of the 3rd tweet. I guess you don't have the tweet open, but I'll just read it really quick. He said, I really wish we could get rid of either heat or chip damage, ... I just want to enjoy Tekken again, in that same fucking tweet.
And that boy started jumping on stage after he won Evo. He was jumping in joy like Chun-Li after he won Evo. What we talking about?
Would you not jump in joy?